Hey, we are live. We're live, and we're going to sound so much better today because Dan Lifshat's figured out how to use his mic. So that's good. I hope my mic sounds okay. It is Thursday night. We have our podcast 5:30. I want to be out by 8 o'clock. We never can. So we'll see what happens.
I think we're gonna be able to do that today. I think that is something that we're both aiming to do today.
Listen to that quality right there, huh?
Sounds much better, right?
So let's tweet it out. The show can be heard Twitter, Periscope, and I just sent out the link for the YouTube link. Now, unfortunately, Dan, I don't know how to make an Under985 YouTube page. I have a page that I was using for the Just Sitting Here podcast. So it's youtube.com/Joey Murr. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. It goes there and people can watch. And from what I've heard is that the quality is sometimes better on YouTube. So we'll find out on that end here. So we have two games tonight, Dan. I'm gonna have a pick on both of them. I'm shooting my shots tonight. We had Maction last night. I went. What did I go? I went 2-1, and I got lucky. Let's just be honest. You know, it's better to be lucky than good. That Western Michigan finish, never saw it happen. Looked up and saw the old account positive, and I'm like, whoa. And a fake spike. Can you believe that? The old Dan Marino fake spike won the game there. And by the way, just on Maction, dude, right? We don't know what we're doing. Like, it's not us. It's not like people who are like obviously, like, there's people who make a living and do very well at betting. The Mac is a jack. There's no crystal ball for the Mac. You just got to be on the right side of it.
I was on apparently the sharp side on both the games, Tuesday and Wednesday, and lost both of them, which goes to show you that sharps get their dicks kicked in when it comes to the Mac football. I mean, for instance, sharps were on the sharp side in the games last night were Toledo. Big time. Toledo was a big time sharp game, and Northern Illinois. and Ball State. Those are the three sharp sides. How'd those do? 0 for 3. Tuesday night, the sharp sides were Miami, Ohio, which I was on, and Kent State. Those went 1-1. So 1-4 for the sharp sides this week. Real fucking beautiful, huh?
Yeah. Well,
great.
Last week, Ball State sucked. That one hurt.
I thought last night that they were the better team. They dominated that entire game.
They're actually, so it's funny. If we're going to talk about the MAC quickly, I tweeted out that the three best teams are Toledo. Buffalo's the best team in my opinion. Buffalo, and then there's
Western Michigan, Toledo, and who was the other team that I'm missing there that went off last night? Central Michigan.
I think Central Michigan's offense is very good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I still think that Kent State.
And then Kent State's got Crum. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Dustin Crum is very good, and of course, you never really can count out Ohio. I think the MAC is going to be very, very top heavy. This year, and so we're gonna have to find out how that goes. To be perfectly honest with you, listen, there's no excuses. I have sucked for the past 2 weeks, I think. So no excuses.
Well, you know what it is, Dan. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to. I'm not doing the old pat on the back here, Barry Horowitz WWE style. I think you have to stay consistent. I think if you had a thought one week, you need to think completely. Like, for instance, Memphis, I'm done. That loss to SMU, that was it, dude. Right? Ever since that loss to SMU, they've sucked, so they're done. I'm fucking done with them. And I'm sure there's other teams like Florida State. Literally, their whole team just collapsed this week. So they're a fade now. I'll always fade Bowling Green and Akron. Like, it just seems like those are two teams that are just, they're not going to show up for you if you try to bet on, even if they're like 30-point dogs. Just no, they're not going to. But I stayed consistent. I liked Florida. They beat Georgia. I like Notre Dame. They beat Clemson. Like, they're just things that you by BYU. Like, you have to stay consistent. And I think that's the only way to be successful. And, there's games this week that I actually wanted to bring to the table about being consistent. I like Coastal Carolina. They pushed or lost last week, whatever side you were on. And, dude, they should have covered. There's like no doubt about it. They took a knee on the goal line. Come on. They didn't even kick the field goal or go for it. All I'm saying is they're now dogs again this week against Troy, your boys, Troy. And I don't like it. I want to be consistent and take them. I don't. Anyways, we'll get into all that. The Thursday night games will happen. How about what do you think? 7? Well, what time's the first game? Boise. Is that 9:00?
Yeah, I believe that is a late game tonight. It's 8:00.
Okay. It's at 8. Okay. All right. So we can do, we can save 7:30 maybe. Who knows? We'll do it at some point. It's not now. So for everybody who's asking, we're starting with the other crap.
Yep. I have to get the bell, by the way. So let me get the bell, and then we can start the 12 o'clock games.
I'll do all the yard work while you do that.
That's fine.
So it's go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the over-under podcast.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have a much smaller card this week. I'm gonna have a much smaller card. I'm just gonna start cutting things down because honestly, I feel like I'm just not running well. Honestly, you should probably fucking fade me right now to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, Dan, we don't have to give out picks. And I'll do the setting the table crap here. We don't have to give out picks you guys want us to. You can fade or follow. I liked BYU last week, didn't like Boise, and you can't help the fact that the quarterback gets injured on the second play of the game, and then he's out, and then BYU goes off. You can't help an injury when you're on two sides of it. We do this podcast for the insight and for you guys can make your own picks. Again, I liked Notre Dame last week. They went outright, luckily. And I liked Florida, and that's just being consistent. It was nothing to do with I know this or that.
Speaking of the injury thing, did you see how I got fucking hammered for that tweet? People love fucking killing me on that tweet.
The Boise stuff,
right? So the Boise. I sent out a tweet. What was the Boise game? Was that Friday night?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so Friday night I basically put a tweet said that the injury ended the game for Boise. I mean, going from your second string quarterback to your third string quarterback is a massive drop off in college football. I think that's fairly a given, right?
Oh, they had no shot.
Right.
Once dude went out, they had no shot.
Okay. Yeah. So then Clemson. Did you watch the whole Clemson game? The whole Clemson Notre Dame?
The officiating was disgusting.
Okay. Did you listen to the commentators complaining about how Clemson was out without two of their defensive linemen, and that's why they couldn't stop the run? I thought that was one of the things I mentioned before the game is I remember I even mentioned the kid, the running back. I even said that the kid, for all the talk you're going about Etienne, the kid's going to have a bigger day, and he did. But that stuff, if you watch, but they were without their star middle linebacker, but he's been gone for 2 weeks. Right. Okay. So that was my point. So I said, I basically put out a tweet from Boise, losing a quarterback changed the game. Losing a linebacker and a defensive lineman, which is I basically put out a tweet. I think it was Saturday, being like, man, the commentators need to shut the fuck up with the Clemson injuries. You're not losing because you have injuries on the defensive side. People, one of the trolls put it together and said, look at these two fucking tweets. I'm just gonna say this. If you're comparing a tweet from losing a quarterback and losing a defensive tackle, fuck out of here, man. Honestly, get the fuck out of here. There's nothing comparable about that situation.
Well, the only thing
I wasn't talking about Lawrence. I thought I made that clear before, but apparently not. If you lose Trevor Lawrence, yeah, it's a massive fucking downgrade. Of course.
Well, I thought DJ was great. I really did. In that final drive, obviously he got stopped. There was a penalty. But dude, Dabo getting out of that pass interference call pissed me off. That should have been the game.
I got to be honest with you. I don't like DJ. I don't like how he plays. I don't think that kid's good. I don't know. I don't.
You know why? Right? He looks like Mahomes. I don't want to make comparisons, but he does.
It's because I'm an Ohio State fan. I just fucking hate that they're gonna.
So that dude. I didn't realize. I looked into it a little bit more about him. He's Big Cinco, man. Like, I didn't realize he was a star pitcher.
Dude, DJ?
Yeah, like he's calling. He's like got all the attributes of Kaepernick and Mahomes. I mean, he does.
He was the number one recruit, I believe, in the class, or whatever, number one quarterback, whatever he was. He's probably going to be fucking amazing. I just hate him. I already hate the kid.
It's fine. That's fine. People felt that way about Justin Fields a long time ago, and then he transfers and whatever.
Yep, exactly. How does Georgia feel about fucking Justin Fields transferring and have to go with fucking Bennett? I mean, that kid sucks.
And Newman's like, yeah, I'll just go to the draft. You know?
I mean, Stetson Bennett is bad, dude. Like he's
so while we're on that, okay, you said that the Florida defense was trash, and I just wanted to bring up the fact that their star linebacker and their defensive lineman didn't play in the first half.
Everyone has injuries.
No. It was
outside of your quarterback, I don't give a fuck what it is. Your top 7 running backs could be out. I don't care.
But they got them. They got them back in the second half, and they owned shit. Georgia was playing it without their star safety.
They were dominating the game. It didn't matter after Trask threw the pick 6. Georgia never threatened them again. I mean, seriously, the game was over after that. It wasn't close. So no, that was just one that I was wrong on, and you were right on. Florida was better offensively. They were too good. I really thought Georgia's defense would come to play, and they just didn't. They knocked out Pitts, and it just didn't matter.
Couldn't believe that.
Florida's offense. I mean,
can you believe how good that defense is, and they couldn't stop running backs out of the backfield?
Dude, honestly, at this point, defense just doesn't matter in college football.
You're right. I've been saying this for weeks.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't matter. Who plays defense anymore? I mean, like Cincinnati plays some defense. I'll give them. Luke Fickell and Cincinnati plays some defense. I thought that Georgia played defense. Florida Atlantic plays defense. They still can't fucking cover a spread. You know, there's a few teams that play defense. It just doesn't matter. San Diego State plays some defense, but again, they're just defense is starting to lose.
It doesn't matter. And listen, I mentioned this earlier. Being consistent. That's the only thing that I can tell you about this year is not. It's not right. The NFL, dude, like it's hard to pick your nose at this point. Now, what's funny, Dan, is I lost the Patriots, which I feel like the Patriots tried really hard to win that game.
Me too.
The Jets, and I just want to bring this up. The Jets had 4 plays in the fourth quarter. An interception and then a 3-and-out. That's it. And on a kick, on a field goal, they had 12 guys on the field, which gave the Patriots the first down.
The Jets tanked that game.
So that's what you think? I personally just think that like they were stupid. They're stupid.
They were, but like there's situational football, and then there's like, come on, like for instance, who was the receiver? Was it Myers who caught the pass that got the Pats in the field goal range?
Yeah, 3rd and 19.
Okay. If you don't touch him for 3 seconds and let him get up and tackle him, game over.
They could have called the timeout. They
couldn't. No, if you don't touch him, you can't call a timeout.
So you know what's funny is I had this debate on the air after post game, and I was told I was wrong. But what you're telling me, what you're saying to me, they could have just. I was saying.
I mean, you.
I had guys who. In the know.
You know what? How about this?
Told me I was wrong.
I don't know if it's possible. Can you like I guess rule yourself down? Is that possible? Like give.
So I guess if you have possession of the football, this is what
don't say any names.
Two former Globe writers told me that.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing here? Anyways, all right, and then I'm trying to think of what NFL. I'm just trying to think last week because Sunday I had an event. I wasn't even around. I didn't. Baltimore rolled. They're 7-point favorites this week, and then we got Indy, Tennessee tonight, which I'm very interested in because there's some really, really, really good trends. But we should get into it.
Let's start. Yeah, let's get into it
for time constraints. So college football, we got 2 games tonight. Well, 1 game tonight and then 1 NFL game. And then we have a Friday nighter. Well,
We
I know
have three Friday night games in college football.
now Cincinnati's going to be the big one. Now I want to get into that one in a little bit. Let's start with the other 2 games. So first and foremost, it's Florida Atlantic, Florida International. Right? Just a big crap fest. I don't care. Maybe you have a thought, but I do have a thought on Iowa, Minnesota.
Tronte was fucking garbage last week for Florida Atlantic. FIU has had quarterback problems all year. I think that if you're going to play something in this game, it's the under. I think Florida International's quarterback troubles are going to continue. They just haven't been able to consistently replace James Morgan. And Florida Atlantic, I mean, again, their offense was horrendous versus Western Kentucky. I knew that there was something weird about that fucking spread last week, and I got baited into that fucker. I'm not doing it again. Tronte was absolute fucking trash last week for Florida Atlantic. I'm looking under. I mean, just two trash ass teams. But at least Atlantic can play defense, and Atlantic's quarterback sucks. So I maybe like a 20, a 21-10 type game.
Moving on. I don't care about that game. But moving on, Iowa, Minnesota. So Iowa won this game last year in Iowa. I actually bet Iowa that day. Stangy had a really good day. I backed Minnesota this week over Illinois. Illinois stinks, as we know. What's his name there? Mohammed Ibrahim rushed for 224 yards. Literally ran all over. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Iowa's defense. Now, I think Iowa's offense struggled. Being consistent, Dan, I faded Iowa again last week because they haven't been good. Northwestern, they get out to that start, and then they blew the game. They made Rocky Lombardi look terrible. And he had a good week the week before, if you remember, against Michigan. In this series, Iowa's won 5 consecutive games. Can you believe that? They have owned the series, but this is Minnesota's best team. Like, this is their best team this year. And I don't know. I feel like Minnesota got off the hump last week, but Iowa, again, they've played decent. Their offense is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the Maryland loss looks a little bit better for Minnesota after what they did to Penn State last week, so that looks better. And then what the fuck is up 49 points against Michigan State for Iowa? I mean, we talked about that spread and how I thought Iowa was the right side. Of course, I didn't play it because I suck. But this is another weird game. Who would have thought that Iowa would fucking light Michigan State up and beat them by 42? But Minnesota was the right side last week. Very public play, Joe, but hey, public wins too. Iowa open is 2.5-point favorites. It's up to 3.5. Public and the sharps definitely on Iowa so far. That line has moved. Total's gone up from 55 to 58. I think you're going to see, a Minnesota team that, again, defensively, they're bad. Well, what's called out is against Michigan and Maryland, 49 and 44. Iowa should be able to, score some points against them. Minnesota's offense is pretty decent, 24, 44, 41. I lean over in that game. I don't really want to touch a side, to be perfectly honest with you. I just like the total. I lean over.
Last 11 meetings, the under is 7-3-1. The road team's 3-1-1, and Iowa's 3-0-1 against the spread last 4 meetings. So, and again, 2 teams that I think are going in the same direction right now. So, Minnesota getting 3.5 at home, very interesting. Friday night home dog.
Yeah, and especially it opened up at 3.5. I got to be honest with you. There's a good chance I'm going to add something tomorrow night. I'm just not going to give it out on the podcast, so we'll see there.
All right, East Carolina, Cincinnati. I bet this game last year, and East Carolina, they stayed. They almost won the game. Cincinnati won last year 46-43. This was like one of those huge upsets. I remember I was at like somewhere. I remember watching it. And right now, Cincinnati, I think, has to be considered a New Year's 6 team. Desmond Ritter's now getting like draft consideration, which I never thought that. Just some trends here. In Cincinnati, ECU is 0-5. The underdog is 5-2 against the spread the last 7. The home team's 4-0 against the spread last 4 meetings. I think Cincinnati rolls.
Yeah, it's a fucking huge number. ECU was terrible last week against Tulane. Really, just kind of laid an egg. And Cincinnati, seriously, wins on the road at SMU 42-13, home versus Memphis 49-10, home versus Houston 38-10. They passed the eye test, they passed the sniff test, they passed every test. My concern for Cincinnati is after this game, next week, on the road at UCF, are they going to be able to put up enough points? We're going to find out. Then on the road at Temple the week after that, Joe, and then on the road at Tulsa. 3 straight road games for Cincinnati. The schedule makers did them no favors. I expect Cincinnati to eventually drop one of those games, either UCF or Tulsa. It's just a lot of travel. But yeah, this week, they probably fucking kick the shit out of ECU. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on this one.
All right, there's your Friday night card. That's it for Fridays. And then you get right into the Saturday slate. There's an SEC game at noon. Can you believe that?
Well, it's maybe the only SEC game we have this week. There's a few more games just came down the line and got canceled, by the way. So we'll get into those.
Oh, wow. Okay. Kentucky 17-point favorites against Vanderbilt, so I won't touch it. But the only thing I'll say is an 0-5 team getting 17 on the road at Kentucky. I don't know. Maybe Kentucky's just played better at home. What are they at home? They're 2-1 at home this year. I got nothing. I don't know if you can fade Vanderbilt though. Like I'd like to fade an 0-5 team, but like this is a game where I feel like they might be able to stay in.
This is a game I almost considered taking Kentucky. I just don't think Vanderbilt's gonna. Kentucky has a very underrated defense. I know they're 2-4 in the SEC, but I think they have a pretty underrated defense. And Vanderbilt, Ken Seals, I believe, just submitted to transfer, so he, I believe, is not going to be playing for Vanderbilt. I don't know for that for a fact, but one of their quarterbacks has submitted transfer. Maybe it wasn't Seals. But either way, my guess is I still don't think that Vanderbilt's a very good team, and I do think that Kentucky, regardless of who starts a quarterback, will be pretty good. Hopefully Terry Wilson gets to start because I think he's the better option there. I think Kentucky can roll them. It's just I don't want to lay 17 with them, but it's probably the right side.
Couple of stats here. Under 4-0 the last 4 meetings in Kentucky. The last 8 meetings overall, the under is 6-2. The favorite in this series, 8-3 against the spread.
Yeah, that is definitely my favorite as well. The total in that game, Joe, what do you think the total is in that?
43.
41.5 points. Yeah, so that is definitely going to be a low-scoring, grinded-out type game.
Okay. All right, moving along here on the Saturday slate. Okay, Miami last week, you bastards. You could have ran it into the end zone there, gone up 10 points and held on, and they didn't. They didn't pull the Todd Gurley. They didn't cover, but they won. And we discussed it last week. Derek King's he's coming along on me. I don't know. I think he's a better passer than I've ever anticipated. But Virginia Tech loses last week, as we know, to Liberty. We saw what happened in that one. Not good, Dan. Not good.
I really thought Virginia Tech was going to smoke them.
Well, early on, it looked like it. Oh, no. Did Liberty go up early? I forget what it was.
Liberty was up early. Yeah, I thought Virginia Tech was going to fucking smoke that team. But nope. Liberty is good, man. Malik Willis, the Auburn transfer, that kid is fucking good. If you're Auburn, how do you start Bo Nix over that kid? Bo Nix sucks. I mean, let's call it out as he's a name. He's not.
A big name. He's a big name.
He's a name.
He's at Auburn.
He's more of a name than he is a player at this point. I mean, Malik Willis is really good, very talented for Liberty.
So this game last year, Miami won, and that was when they were kind of at the end of the year. Hendon Hooker, as we all know, has been decent so far this year. He was good last week though. 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran for 156. He was like literally everything for Virginia Tech. So V-Tech is a 2-point favorite here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the loss to Liberty is devastating. And the more I look at Miami, dude, they're ranked 9th, right? Well, with Clemson going down and now Notre Dame taking over, who is now the third best team in the ACC? Because North Carolina got knocked off at one point.
I still think it's UNC.
Okay, but all I'm saying is this is a chance for Miami to get back in it.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess I forgot Notre Dame's in the ACC. Yeah. So I mean, Miami's the third best team. If you're going, it's Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami. Okay.
Well, let's just say this. I mean, I'm not. I think Notre Dame's better than Miami, but if I had to choose between Ian Book or Derek King, give me Derek King. I just think the defense is better for Notre Dame. But like they need this game. Miami needs this game if they want to have ACC aspirations.
So I can tell you why I think the spread is what it is. Miami is on back-to-back road games, NC State to Virginia Tech. And I'll tell you, the Virginia game for Miami was really bad. They really did not play well. And honestly, Miami should have lost on was it Friday night last week or was it Thursday night?
Dude, I've told you how bad Hawkman. I hate Hawkman. And he was a stupid pick. And then the turnover chain came out. He was good early, and then he tanked late.
They got 41 points against Miami. They were very good. I mean, this is a spot I'm normally taking in a normal week. I'm looking and saying, give me Virginia Tech. It does sort of remind you of the West Virginia K-State game a couple weeks ago, where K-State's on the road, coming off their first win on the road, and they're going back on the road for another game, and it does kind of feel a very similar-ish feel. I think there's a very good chance that Virginia Tech overlooked Liberty for Miami. Like, I think that the way that they played and the way that Fuente had that team ready to play, I think there's a very good chance that Virginia Tech was prepping for Miami and kind of ignored Liberty and the noise and thought that they would be able to handle them because it's Liberty after all, as I think a lot of us did. And I think they overlooked them. And so I think we're going to see a better Virginia Tech team this week. I'm not going to take it yet, but this is one I may add Saturday. This is going to be a spot that it's going to be sharp for a square. You're going to see a ton of Miami backing, and Virginia Tech open as 2.5-point favorite. It's going to be an interesting spot.
This is gonna be a good game. Noon, right? Noontime game.
Yep, nooner.
Yeah, that's gonna be a go. I lean Miami right now, but that's just me. I'm being consistent.
Again, back-to-back road games. We talked about this. How bad are Power 5 teams on the back-to-back road games? They almost always lose one of those two. Almost always.
Ooh, what was the trend I just saw here on that game? What was it? No. I hear you on that. Listen, I thought they were going to go down last week.
Me too.
Favorites 5-1 against the spread the last 6 meetings, and the favorite right now is Virginia Tech.
Tech -2.
Yeah, that's one of those noon games that I feel like last week, dude, the books crushed early in the day.
I think the nooners this week are really tough, dude.
So that's what I mean. Like really here, tough. like here, like that screams Miami to me. I don't know why.
There's a lot of early trap lines at 12 o'clock this week.
The trends don't lie. Hey, listen, the favorite in that series 5-1 is probably 5-1 for a reason. Army number 25 goes to Tulane. 6-1 Army's a 4-point dog at Tulane. Have they played before, Dan? Let's look it up. 2019, Tulane won 42-33. I think the Tulane team was better last year, but this quarterback's coming along here now with Tulane.
Dude, Pratt can fucking play.
I agree. And the kid last year was good. I forget his name. Tulane, number 3 rushing offense in the conference, 230 yards a game. Pratt has thrown 5 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. He has 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in only 6 games so far this year.
Yeah, so what I will say about Army, they haven't played since October 24th. So it's been, almost 3 weeks now. that they haven't played. Maybe a little bit longer because this game will be Saturday. So over 3 weeks since their last game.
What about? I was going to say Army's had a couple of weeks now, right? With the COVID thing, was it Halloween? Was their last game? Got canceled. Got canceled. Sorry,
the Air Force game got postponed. There's no scheduled makeup date for that.
3 weeks, like you said. Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, over 3 weeks. Yeah, so
Mercer, they beat Mercer.
Yeah, 49-3 was the last game. And meanwhile, Tulane, the last 2 games has really looked good. 38 points versus Temple, 38 versus ECU on the road. I think that's probably why they're probably a favorite here. Plus, along the fact that Army hasn't played in almost 3 weeks, almost a month, whatever it is. Like, I think that those are contributing factors to the line.
All right, check this out. Army is already have a bowl game. They're going to play the Pac-12. They're going to play whoever loses the Pac-12.
Gotcha.
So they already have a game set up.
I mean, they already have 6 wins.
But what I mean by that is they're a top 25 team that I don't know, what if they finished in the top 15 or something?
Nah, they're not.
Whatever. Is the Tulane defense good enough?
I'm passing on that game.
Smell over. 47.
Yeah, I'm open at 48. I'm passing on that game completely.
Wake Forest, UNC. How about this bad boy, huh? 5-2 versus 4-2. We know UNC. I'm out. So they're on my list. I can't bet them. I'm out. They're done for me. And last year, Wake Forest won this game 24-18.
Yeah, I mean, Wake Forest has been playing better, ripped off
Wake Forest. Yeah, I was going to say 4-game winning streak. Go ahead.
Yeah, ripped off 4 games, including a win at Vautech a couple weeks ago. Here's my problem. Wake Forest, back-to-back roadies, Syracuse and now UNC. They won the first one. That means you usually lose the second one. They also have Duke next week. So unfortunately, they get 3 straight roadies, a brutal scheduling there by the ACC. Just mean, straight mean. The thing is, North Carolina is going into a bye, and then they have Notre Dame, and they have Miami. So they got 2 really tough weeks in a row. You would still expect UNC offensively to put up a good amount versus Wake Forest team. I know that defensively they've definitely settled down the last few weeks after starting off pretty shakily. 14-23, 16-14.
What was that?
Pretty
shakily?
Yeah, shakily. They started off shakily.
Shakily?
Yeah, shake, little song there.
Shaky or
shakily, whatever you want to call it.
I just bust the ball.
Little fucking shakily there, fucking Joe. Fuck off. Yeah. So okay, fine. They started off shaky defensively, but they've really responded the past few weeks, and maybe there's a letdown here. Maybe they're shakily gonna struggle.
Shakira.
Ooh.
Shakali.
Shaka
Khan.
I'm a big Shakira guy.
You ready for these trends here, Dan?
Yeah, me.
Wake Forest 0-4 against the spread in North Carolina. The favorites 4-1 against spread last 5 meetings. Home team 6-0 against the spread last 6 meetings. And the over has gone over for all last 4 times in North Carolina.
Again, the spread opened at 12. It is now, if I can find the live line on it, it is now -13 total in this one, 66.5. So the total's really getting up there too.
I hope people listen to these trends because, when we go through these and then I see the games, I'm like, fucking trend was right. And then there was somewhere I was like, fucking trend didn't matter at all. It's all week long. I'm playing the game of what matters, what doesn't, what should we be looking at? What shouldn't we be looking at? I don't know. Wake Forest, you know what it was last night? Western Michigan. Toledo won the last 4 out of 5 in Western Michigan last night. It looked like they were going to win it again, right? And then that was a fade on my behalf, Dan. I was fading it last night.
Honestly, let's be fair. Toledo should have won.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the trend would have showed you to, Toledo's had much success there. All I'm saying is these trends, I'm telling you, you can fade and follow, look for the right spot, look for an odd, be like, all right, that's over. That's not happening again. That's why I throw them out there. But in this case, the over. And I think these quarterbacks have been here the last, at least 3 years.
Yep.
Howell, right? 3, yeah. So, at least the last 3 times these 2 quarterbacks have met, it's gone over. So, Here you go. You got another year here of possibly an over between those two teams, and I'm out on North Carolina. I can't bet them anymore this year. I'm done with them. Coastal Carolina, the Roosters. Yeah. Troy. Fucking hate Troy. God, I can't understand Troy. Do you know what the score was of this game last year, Dan?
No idea.
Coastal Carolina won 36-35.
Oh, a nice game. Big game. Coastal's defense much improved off last year, to be fair. So
that's right.
6 points against South Alabama and 0 the week before versus Georgia State.
They only give up 15 points per game.
Listen, want to talk about defense. Coastal Carolina plays very good defense. Again, we just talked about how the defenses matter, but Troy struggled versus Georgia Southern. We did talk about that, and I said we both kind of thought Georgia Southern would bounce back and beat Troy last week, and that came to fruition. I think this is a big number to cover for Coastal.
I agree.
It's up to 11.5 now. I think anything past 10 is a real tough number to take for Coastal this week. This is a Coastal Carolina stay away. As much as they've been fun backing this team, they didn't cover last week, and I have Troy at home is going to be pretty tough to cover, to beat by 12 or more.
Troy could play to their competition and win possibly. I'm not backing them. The only thing I'm looking at, though, what's the total?
Total on this one's 53.
Been some low-scoring games the last couple of games between the Chanticleers, and one of the trends suggests that their last 6 games as a favorite, the under is 5-1.
Yeah, I do like the under in this game. I do.
The only game that wasn't was Campbell.
Well, I don't know what the hell their defense did against Campbell. They fell asleep against Campbell. They still put up 43 and dominated them going away.
Is this not Nebraska game happening against Penn State?
As of right now, it is, yes.
So if you remember this game from a few years ago, I forget who that quarterback was. Penn State won this game 56-44. It was like one of those like over 100 points or hit 100 points or whatever. That's the last time the two teams have played. Now, I read something this week that Nebraska against the spread has been outstanding against Penn State. Penn State's 0-3, right? I mean, they haven't shown up, man. Nebraska hasn't shown, even though they had that first game of the year. So I'll just throw out the trends. You tell me what you think. But here's what I saw. Last 4 meetings, Penn State's basically 0-4, 0-2-2 against the spread the last 4 meetings. The underdog is 3-0-2. The road team is 3-0-2 last 5 meetings. What's the spread?
Right now, Nebraska, let me just see the update line, is a 3-point dog. And it looks like it may move to 3.5 anytime soon. Sometime soon. Apologies. Penn State's getting a lot of the bet, a lot of the money. I got to be honest with you. I think if you take Nebraska, you just take the money line. That is the way that I lead in this game, Joe. I know that
the Big Ten sucks so bad this year.
I know that everyone's going to back Penn State, but they got shit on by Maryland. I just don't know how good this team is. And Nebraska, I know they struggle versus Northwestern, but they still defensively they were okay. I think Nebraska at home. I think Nebraska's the side. This is a game you probably don't play, to be perfectly honest with you, but I would lean that way.
Nebraska's star running back, what's his name? That Journey had to retire.
You mean Penn State? Yeah, Journey Brown retired from college football.
Fucking heart injury, issue.
Yep,
that hurt them.
Yeah, it sucks too.
And they're talking about benching Clifford.
If he loses this week, I mean, you really might have to.
I'm eating M&Ms for those that shakily is a word.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
I need to shakily read that in the fucking dictionary. All right. You want to move on to the next 12 o'clock game? I think we have a couple more.
We should do shakily lines. That should be like a segment. All right, let's get into it. Indiana, Michigan State.
Oh boy.
Dude, I think Indiana's legit. I watched the whole Michigan game last week. The whole game. This kid Penix is nasty. They have a nasty big ass tight end. Indiana. The defense is decent. 7 points. Michigan State off an ass kicking. I mean an ass kicking. The kid's legit. The last meeting, Michigan State won 40-31 a year ago. I watched that team last week and they were awesome. Penix is 8-1 as a starter, dude. You know his only losses against?
Illinois.
Michigan State.
Damn it. Damn it. It would have been so fitting it was fucking Illinois.
So, I mean, that's the only thing. I smell a redemption here. 7 points, dude. 7 points.
It opened at 9. The sharp side's definitely Michigan State. Look, Indiana has Ohio State next week. It's a clear look ahead.
There you go.
The last time Michigan State was overlooked, they won outright versus Michigan. They're coming off a win against Michigan. Spot-wise, it's pretty fucking terrible for Indiana. I mean, really, again, this is the type of spot I would look towards playing. Usually in most weeks, I'm being picky because I'm being a little bitch this week. But, just in general, this is the kind of spot you want. Michigan State coming off a bad loss for a potential rebound against a team they probably overlooked last week. Back-to-back roadies, by the way. And now Indiana coming off a big win, looking ahead to Ohio State on back-to-back roadies. I mean, this is like, it's a spot you back Rocky Lombardi and Michigan State. It just is.
You ready for some trensies?
Yeah, hit me with the trends.
Hoosiers 1-7 against the spread in the last 8 in Michigan State.
Ugh.
Home team's 9-4 against the spread in the last 13. The favorite is 11-4 though in the last 15 meetings. Over, all over it. 5-1 last 6, 10-2 last 12. This kid. I watched this game. I don't think he's a pro prospect, and I don't. That's not a. I'm not disrespecting him. He's flat-footed. It's weird. Oh God, he reminds me of like how Michael Vick passed in the pocket, but not. I mean, he can move a little bit, right? I mean,
he reminds me of Cam Newton without the size. Flat-footed, throws off his back foot.
Flat-footed,
very, very mobile.
He's calm. He's calm. I mean, he's not worried. He takes his time.
Yep.
One of the plays Michigan got at him, and they tried to fumble it. He got it back. But yeah, he's flat. He's a stay at home. He's a set hot shotgun. Look for.
He's very mobile though. I mean, he's very mobile.
Yeah, all I can say, I don't know if he's a pro prospect, but he's a winner, man. He's been winning, and he has them ranked 10th in the country. I'd probably back them giving 7.
I think Michigan State's a live dog this week. I do. If this was a normal week, all things considered, if I could get a hook with Michigan State and get that 7.5,
Let's talk this out for a second. Recency bias, right? We just saw Indiana just crush Michigan. Well, let's not forget Michigan State fucking crushed Michigan.
Right.
And going to Iowa is not easy. It's just not. That's not an easy place to play. And you get to Rocky, what is he? I don't even know what he is. Freshman, sophomore, whatever.
I'm not sure, but it was back-to-back road games.
But it's just not a good spot. It's just
agreed.
You're
overvalued.
I don't think Michigan State's good though. The little I've watched, they don't think they're good.
No. They don't pass the smell test, but this is a spot if you're going to back them one time the rest of the season, this is probably it.
And hey man, Big Ten, like these things don't lie. Like the Patriots didn't cover this week in New York. Like that's a thing. They sometimes don't cover.
Let's also not forget Penn State just got dicked out by fucking Maryland, and Indiana beat them. Right? Indiana beat them by a quarter of an inch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure. Overtime. Like, so I also think that maybe Indiana's being a little bit overvalued at this point, coming off a big win in Michigan, looking at Ohio State. Again, I think if you're going to back Michigan State, I think this is a really good spot for it.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yep.
This kid's like, I've asked you guys 3 times on Twitter. Da, 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 da. I go, yeah, dude, we're on a podcast. He goes, I looked on 98.5. I can't find it.
I tweeted at him.
Does he not? I mean, what just for the people that are watching, what else do we need to do to let you know when our podcast is? Because we tell you it's on every Thursday. I'm not complaining. I just want to know what we can do better at. Any suggestions, anybody? Thank you. Okay, Dad. Let's. I just want to know if you can't find it on the website, it's because it's not on the website yet. And you might be able to hear us on radio.com, but that's a different story for a different day. Marshall, they're back. They didn't cover last week, Dan. They didn't cover. Remember that dude who called into our Saturday show? He nailed both bets.
I know. I
mean, call it this week and be like, fuck you guys.
I mean, that's fine. Again, I will fade UMass every fucking game if I have to.
All right. 24 is the number for Marshall. Marshall lost 24-13 last year. Now Mid Tennessee State was a better team. We know that a year ago, and I thought Marshall was pretty good last year too. 24 points. We know that they're undefeated. Head to head, home team 5-2 against the spread last 7. So Marshall, I mean, Dan, you've had you've at least bet a few Mid Tennessee State games this year.
Yeah, I mean, we hit the mid. I hit the total Mid Tennessee against Western Kentucky. What else do we have? Do we have? I can't remember if we had Troy. We had them one other time. Oh, we had them. We had UTSA against Mid Tennessee State.
It was like a Thursday night
game. Yeah, we're actually 2-0 against Mid Tennessee State this year. How about that?
So Marshall just needs to win, in my opinion, to just stay alive. I probably wouldn't touch him here.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points in a game that really doesn't mean too much. And again, you could see something like very much like last week where Marshall had the chance to cover and just didn't. So, yeah, I this is a stay away from me completely.
Somebody said, "Hey, maybe offer reading comprehension classes." I can't afford that. I can't afford that, unfortunately. Here's another one. What about fading Liberty after their big win last week at 33.5 versus Western Carolina? What's the mascot for Western Carolina?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Like, yeah, the Catamounts, I think.
There you go. Yeah, they look like a tiger.
Okay. I have no idea.
I have nothing on them.
So the only thing is, and I'll give Colby Dant from the College Experience podcast credit on this. I listened a little bit earlier. So the one thing I will say is he kind of compared this Western Carolina team to Louisiana Monroe, and he said they might even be better than Louisiana Monroe. He knows the weird shit, right? The FCS teams and all that crap. He knows insane amount of shit like that. What I will say is he kind of basically compared Western Carolina to Louisiana Monroe, and so they might even be better than Monroe. And so basically, if Liberty, coming off a really big win, right, is going to cover a 33-point spread, 35-point spread of what it is now, like probably Western Carolina, honestly. And again, Western Carolina plays 3 games: Liberty, at Eastern Kentucky, and then UNC in about a month.
So just this while we're on it, just to have some fun with it, let's take BYU out of it because I think they're going to get more consideration. You could have Coastal Carolina, Marshall, Liberty, and who would be the 4th team? Coastal, Marshall, Liberty. I'm trying to think of somebody else that could be a New Year's 16.
Fuck.
Who am I missing?
I'm sure there is one. Probably someone blatantly obvious. I mean, Louisiana Lafayette's 6-1.
Cincinnati. I don't know.
I mean, Cincinnati. I guess you would probably put them in that group.
I love when people check. So, dude, we buried the ball on Memphis last week. So just we for those who are just tuning in, I lost Memphis, but I did win Notre Dame. I did win Florida. I did win BYU. Like, I lost one. I think I lost one game. And Coastal Carolina, depending on the side that you were on. But, like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, dude.
So,
App State has a loss, too. People
Yeah.
are chiming in. Well, so I guess realistically, the only teams that have a chance are BYU, Cincinnati, Coastal, all the undefeated teams.
and Marshall. I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This is why we need an expanded playoff system, because it is going to be bullshit. I know what's going to happen. Clemson's going to get in as the fourth team. They're going to have the one loss, or the third team, whatever. They have one loss. It's going to be to Notre Dame. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, they lost Trevor Lawrence that game," which is fair. They didn't have Trevor Lawrence, and they lose, and so they're going to get in the playoffs instead of a team like Coastal Carolina or a team like BYU or a team like that who's undefeated, who has played better competition than Clemson. Really, look at Clemson's schedule. Horrendous. The ACC sucks.
So I'll tell you this: I think Clemson's only getting the benefit of the doubt because of their quarterback was out.
But it doesn't matter. It would not have mattered. They would put in a one-loss Clemson team over undefeated BYU every single.
Yeah. No. I mean, I agree with that. Like fucking 10 out of 10 times. You know, I'm gonna say this. Maybe you disagree. I think Notre Dame wins that game if Trevor Lawrence is there.
No, I think it probably is closer. I think the game is played differently. I still like Notre Dame in the game.
Yeah, okay. Is that true? Someone just said breaking news. No Ivy League basketball again.
Yep, they cancel winter sports. They're terrified. Terrified of the COVID.
The only thing I can tell you is they were ahead of it last year. I kind of knocked them for it, and they were right. So
listen, I'm not.
No, I apologize. Dude, there's a star at Harvard that's going to transfer right now.
I mean, there's going to be a ton of transfers.
They got a huge recruit. I forget like a big time overseas recruit.
There's going to be a ton of transfers. You're going to see hockey transfers. You're going to see there's so many hockey players. I mean, you're going to see a mass exodus of Ivy League. It's going to suck, but I mean, they got to do what they got to do if they believe it's the right thing.
So I get no Harvard. No Princeton, no backdoor, none of that.
No Yale,
Yale. I know Yale, dude.
Yep.
Pepperdine. Well, they're in the West.
No, Pepperdine is that one.
Sorry, I apologize to all the nerds. Moving on. So West Virginia covered but lost last week. They're 4-3 versus TCU. Oh my God, do I hate this game? West Virginia's -3. TCU. Ugh. So West Virginia won the game a year ago, 20-17. It was on the road. They're very good at home. TCU has yet to lose on the road in 2020. Something's got to give.
All right. Give me TCU +3.5. Yep, I'm doing it. West Virginia, 2 ranked games in a row, off the game at Texas. The TCU is being undervalued in the spot. I think West Virginia is being overvalued in the spot. I really like TCU here. I thought they put on dominating performances the last 2 weeks at Baylor and at Texas Tech. They should be. Honestly, I think that this should probably be a pick 'em, pretty much, in my opinion. I know West Virginia's played Kansas State and Texas. If you're putting Baylor and Texas Tech, I mean, Texas Tech almost beats Texas in Texas. Got very lucky. And then Kansas State, I mean, the Kansas State win was good, but we talked about that. That was an all-time bad spot for Kansas State.
Hey, dude.
I'm back here. I'm back in TCU.
Okay.
Taking my boy Duggan. I love Max Duggan.
It's the PP, our first PP of the show today. We should have it sponsored out there. We should talk to our buddy Bob about that.
Ooh, we should.
The first PP of the day brought to you by. Hey Dan, I don't want to give myself credit for this one. But remember when we did our baseball podcast and I mentioned, potential like MVP candidates or home run? Jose Abreu won the fucking AL MVP award.
I know. I saw that. It's crazy.
I actually said it kind of jokingly, like, "Hey, look at the numbers for Jose Abreu." What was I do? Why didn't I put $25 on it or something there? I think I want to say it was like plus like 4,500 or something.
Yeah, that's great. I hit the only baseball future I hit. The big one was Trevor Bauer to win the NL Cy Young. That was my big one this year.
And by the way, our old boss who gave us the show, how about that nailing the White Sox as a flagship?
Oh yeah, big props to Mike Thomas.
Yeah, I started at 1510 The Zone in Boston, and when I got there, they lost the rights to the Celtics, and the station went to shit. Because if you don't have a fucking team to sell, dude, you lose all your money. And based off the Inside Radio financials that came out today, Dan, looks like 98.5 did very well.
Not too.
They put a B in front of the Illions, but
it should not have been a B. It should have been an M.
And
when I saw a typo.
When I saw that, I
you have a fucking coronary.
I almost made a phone call. Like, what the fuck is going on with you people? Sorry to discuss all this on the air, everybody.
Oh god,
it's one of those Inside Radio things. All right, moving on. We got the 1 o'clock games now. Or is there any more nooners?
We have 2 more nooners.
Oh, jeez.
We have my favorite team in the whole world, Illinois, on the road at Rutgers. I mean, this game is just the best, right? You have one team that fucking sucks, another team that fucking sucks, and the whole world loves the team from New Jersey. This is
Illinois won 38-10 last year. I will tell you this though. I bet Rutgers 37.5 last week. Boom, boom. And took them second half. Boom, boom. And I was very happy. And
can they cover? Can they cover and win this one? 6.5.
Rutgers is favored.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be favored to anybody.
Illinois gets Brandon Peters is going to be back now off the COVID. I think he was back last week, but I mean, again, it's hard to kind of come back. I think we saw that.
Illinois fought early on against Minnesota and then just, it was bad.
Yeah, they crashed. Yeah, so, I don't know what to think of this.
I think Rutgers and Shiano are putting 7, right? This is such a bad game.
It's a shit ball, dude.
Give me Rutgers.
All right.
Give me Rutgers. All right, let's move it along. UL Lafayette, your boys, 6-1. South Alabama is starting to piss me off a little bit. Their offense isn't good, so I'm come to terms with that.
They run the 2 fucking quarterback system. Choose a fucking quarterback. One guy. Stop trying to do this 2 quarterback shit. You're not Lafayette.
Defense is decent. Lafayette won by 10.
Or sorry, who's that's not Lafayette. Arkansas State does the 2 quarterback system.
That's right. And they actually put up good numbers. But anyways, Lafayette won by 10 last year. They have a chance to clinch a berth of the Sun Belt Championship game. Ooh. So that's what's the line?
Right now the line is 16.
South Alabama held Coastal to 23 points. I don't know where I'm going on that. I think ULL needs this game, obviously, to be in that. I think they're going to lock it up. Ooh, can they win by 2 touchdowns or more than 2 touchdowns? Good question. Home team 6-2 against the spread last 8. The under everywhere. Under's 4-0 in the last 4 meetings. 4-0 last 4 conference games. They're 4-0 in the last 4 road games. The under's 9-1 in the Jaguars' last 10 games on that field turf. The under leans to everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. South Alabama, since going to the 2 quarterback system, has struggled offensively against teams that are not named Louisiana Monroe and Texas State. 10 points, 17 points, and 6 points, respectively. They're not generating the offense that that they need. And in terms of the actual Lafayette, I mean, this is a big game. They need to win this game. 16 is a lot of points to cover in the Sun Belt, but I do think that your view of the under is probably the right side.
Trends, not view, just a little friendly.
But I'm a little bitch, and I'm not taking it.
App State, Georgia State. So I don't know what it is, but I just feel like App State's not the team to really back anymore against the spread. Like, I think they should win this game. They're at home. But I feel like Georgia State will, like, hang around with them.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, again, Georgia State, outside of that Coastal Carolina game where that was bad. But, put up 36 against Troy. Probably should have won that game a bit easier. 52 against Monroe last week, but they allowed 34. This is going to be an interesting game, Joe. App State's played better, but again, outside of the Arkansas State game, their best win is Charlotte, and that was to open the season. There are other wins coming against Campbell, Monroe, and Texas State. Now, it's not their fault, but next week they have Coastal Carolina. They're looking ahead. They're not worrying about fucking Georgia State. It's just this is a look ahead spot. Like, it's if you could get maybe 17 and a half. If this spread's like 18 and a half Saturday, maybe I'll consider taking it.
Okay. Fresno at Utah State. I think Utah State's wicked down. I want to take Fresno, but check this out. The underdog in this series, 8-3 against the spread the last 11 meetings.
So it's a weird matchup, man. It is. It's a back-to-back road game for Fresno. Which outside the Power Five, it's not as big of a deal because those teams travel a lot more during the season, so it's a little bit of a difference. But still, nonetheless, it's not a great spot. They're probably going to look at the San Jose State next week because San Jose State 3-0 in the Mountain West, rolling right along. Or they'd be 4-0. I can't remember. 3-0, 4-0 in the Mountain West, rolling right along. They're looking like the big swinging dicks in the Mountain West. And, Utah State has been terrible offensively, 13-7-9. The offensive output just isn't there for this team. I know that there's going to be a lot of people. I'm not very high on Fresno State's defense. Like, I think that if UNLV put up 27 against their defense, I know the Adazio performance or whatever, but Adazio just sucks. But if they take that Adazio performance away, Fresno State defensively is not great. Utah State should score a little bit, maybe over. I mean, I think Fresno's gonna score, and they put in their backup quarterback last week too because Woolridge, I think his name is, because their starter Jake Haener just was not getting it done. So I do think that we're going to see some maybe quarterback mixing there. This game could be kept close. I don't love a side. I'd lean over if you're making me.
Okay. North Texas UAB, just off the bat, UAB at home has been very good. They lost that one game so far this year. Haven't been great against the spread, 1-3. Dan, I like UAB in this one. I just think they have a pretty decent running game, and they normally play well at home. The total is fucking 65. Holy shit.
And by the way, apparently, per our buddy Chris, we'll get into the Thursday game, but it sounds like Bachmeier is going to play for Boise tonight, which is a huge boost. Yeah, I mean that is a huge fucking boost for them.
I'll work on that while we.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to say about this game. North Texas has 2 wins, neither of them very good. Houston Baptist and Mid Tennessee, 2 weeks off now. UAB has been, trending down for the past few weeks. This is probably they need to win this game to do it, but I'm not backing UAB at 14. It seems like a little bit too much for a team that's been trending down.
Yeah. I hear it. What do you got going on in the background, Dan?
Me?
Yeah.
No, my wife is going back to school for her next degree, so she probably didn't close the door to her classes there.
But Dan, know what I noticed you didn't do today that I did?
What's up?
Try to make sense with Celtics fans.
No. There's Celtics fans are fucking stubborn, set in their ways, and they're gonna think what they want.
Hey Dan, we'll give you James Harden, but you don't have to give us Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
hit in a fucking heartbeat. I mean, if you Gordon Hayward, Kemba Walker, and fucking Marcus Smart can walk out the door for James Harden immediately. I don't even know.
Yeah, but like it's just I made the mistake today.
Just insanity. If you're crying about James Harden and you don't think and you don't want James Harden, I mean, what the fuck?
And you know what's another thing too? Like you think, oh, that guy's a born loser and he's a loser, perennial loser. Like, dude, you're the Celtics who've gone 3 to 4. You have Eastern Conference champion and you've lost.
The Celtics are perennial losers.
Like,
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, like it's just. But the reason why I say that is some guy goes, "Yeah, you're the same guy that wants the Patriots to tank." I'm not. That's the other guy whose last name is Murray.
Yeah, and then and they're not tanking. So fuck yeah, that was also the dumbest fucking concept ever. Dumbest. I love you, Jim, but come on, they're not fucking getting turned over.
No, I don't know what I like. What Jim's doing is that Felger is, I think, trying to keep the ratings up.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
By saying that, hey, there's a plan, a plot plan to get to the playoffs.
I do think the Patriots are going to win 7 or 8 games, but they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not.
We should have a fucking side bet on that one.
I mean, seriously, they have Miami. Do you guys not remember what they did to Miami week 1? Did you guys not remember?
I know. I remember.
So what's going to be different? They're going to have a rookie quarterback on the other side.
I think they lose this week. I think they lose to the.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they beat the Chargers, Jets.
Yep.
So what's that? 5 wins.
Yep.
Ooh,
I think they
the AFC East games.
I was going to say I think they beat one of the Bills and the Dolphins.
So that's 6.
And I think they probably beat Houston.
They can.
Houston.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're looking at 7 or 8 wins for the team realistically.
Ooh, so should we do over under 7.5?
Ooh,
I'd go under.
I think they'll probably go 7 and 9. That would be my guess right now. I go under too.
Sorry,
but I think it's close.
Sorry to go off track.
Yeah, sorry, we just got on a tangent.
I know you guys love that UAB North Texas. 3:00 Texas El Paso. Jesus Christ, I can't believe these teams.
Yep, I actually have a play on this one. So there.
All right, he's got UTEP, Texas El Paso. TSA is -6.
Yep. PP. Give me UTSA -6. Simple as that. They are UTEP's wins this year. Again, I always have to repeat this because it's insane. Stephen F. Austin in a game they probably should have lost. Abilene Christian game they probably should have lost. And then Louisiana Monroe, who is terrible. UTSA wins this year. Texas State, Stephen F. Austin, so cancel that. Mid-Tennessee State and La Tech, who just beat UAB. They're a better team. They got dominated on the road by FAU. Which is a very good defensive team who sucks offensively, but very good defensively. UTEP nowhere near the same. I don't even think they're in the same ballpark as UTSA. UTSA should win this game by 2 scores. So I'm going to take UTSA. I'm not going to let that one go to waste.
Okay. Louisville, Virginia. I'm just going to say this. I've tried to get behind Louisville. Nope. Virginia is like one of the best rush defenses in the country. They get what's his face there back, Brennan Armstrong.
Yep,
he's back this week. They got that transfer kid from Indiana, Ronnie Walker. So they got their running game is going to be on fucking point. Now Louisville won this game last year, 28-21. The game's now in Virginia. Why is the spread only 2.5?
Yeah, this is weird, dude. This is a game I think you look at and you're like, I think this is a game I just need to fucking avoid. Like just completely. This game is fucking weird. It's actually up to 4 now, Joe. So, at least you have that. This is just a weird game. I'd stay away from it, honestly. And yes, Ken, I understand that the Patriots are not playing well. I just think that you're going to see teams get worse and then teams get better. And then Belichick is going to want to win games. He's not going to tank. We saw that very clearly. The team's not tanking. So, they're going to win games. They're going to win a bunch of games they don't deserve to because coaches are stupid and other people are stupid and whatever. So, all right, Joe, what else we got for 3:30?
South Florida Houston.
Ew.
Fuck South Florida. I hope Houston puts you
10 feet under.
Yeah.
Swimming with the fishes.
Yes. So I'm not doing it. Nope. I don't know who USF is anymore. Like what is that? Like,
I mean, you don't know what they are week to week. They suck versus ECU. They cover versus Temple. They suck versus Tulsa. They cover versus Houston. Memphis. On the road, they've been better than they have at home. So I don't know. They're the pass.
oh my god.
What?
No, I just got a text about it.
Oh.
No, nothing. As a friend of a friend's friendy friend thing.
How many friends of a friend of a friend of a friend is it?
Bad, like a bad news friend situation. All right, whatever. We'll move on.
I had one of those earlier this week. I get it.
Oh god, and it's like, dude, what happened? All right. Well, I like Houston, but I'm not betting it. How's that sound?
Fair.
For anybody, in South Florida deserved to lose last week, even though they covered.
Dude, if Houston doesn't cover this week, would say there'll be a 3-3 team on the road versus SMU. Maybe you might be able to find some value there because they're 2-3 and they're just not a 2-3 team. They're not. They're better than that. They really are. So, all right. Well, we can cross the Rice Louisiana Tech game off the schedule. That one is canceled this week. So that one is off the board, Joe. We'll go. I'll continue to go into 3:30 while you're dealing with that. Notre Dame, BC, 3:30 in Chestnut Hill. This is a big game. Notre Dame obviously coming off the emotional victory over Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. Sorry, the Trevor Lawrence-less Clemson. BC coming off a barely hung on to victory at Syracuse. Phil Jurkovich, he was the former Notre Dame quarterback who transferred out of Notre Dame to BC. Things obviously did not work out for him playing over Ian Book, and so obviously he moved on to BC. Notre Dame, I mean, at this point, coming off a massively emotional victory versus Clemson, I wonder if their heads are going to be in it this week. I do. I mean, I think they'll be prepped because this is kind of a big game. BC Notre Dame has taken on a rivalry-ish theme the past few years, and it's a bigger game than it used to be. Djokovic adds a layer to that, I think, and not to mention, BC probably almost definitely looked at Syracuse last week and to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has UNC in a couple weeks. I do think that this is going to be a spot where we're going to see a potential, maybe not a look ahead, but just an overlook of BC. I think that's why it's 13.5 and not 14. And I don't know. I do think that this is a potential spot for maybe not BC to win outright, although I have heard some people say that they're going to win outright, but to cover the 13.5, 14, whatever it gets up to, this is, a super letdown spot for Notre Dame. And you have to know that BC was looking ahead to this team earlier this week. Joe, you have anything here?
I don't. No, I don't, unfortunately.
Okay. Do you need to take off?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Where are we at?
We did Notre Dame BC. I was going to head to USC.
Oh,
Arizona.
Notre Dame BC, huh?
Yes, that was the game I was.
Sorry, 3:30 there. I'll give you some trends. The underdog 9-4 against the spread last 13. Under is 8-1 last 9. I'd go that way.
The under in that game.
BC's put up points, right? I mean,
yeah, the total in that one is 50, Joe. But it, the lower total does kind of lend credence to the under. Notre Dame obviously has a good defense. BC's offense has been decent with Djokovic, and we've seen Notre Dame's offense struggle at times where they put up like 12 points against Louisville, who's fucking horrendous. So, it's I don't know. This game, Joe, BC in the under for me if you're making me play it. So,
I 50 is low to me. I don't know why, but I've seen them play Pitt this year and it barely got over.
oh.
So I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it. Did you do USM Western Kentucky yet?
We have not. No.
Fucking Western Kentucky's favored. I hate Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, new coach, Western Kentucky covered last week, but didn't win. Fucking fuck the Hilltoppers. Fuck Southern Mississippi. Let's move on.
All right. How
skip
about Rice, Louisiana Tech?
Canceled. Move on. Postponed for COVID. So next game.
Oh, okay. How about USC with a win? Last second, Keaton Slovis going to Arizona. This is gonna be Arizona's first game, right? We don't know what the new look Arizona team looks like. USC won this game a year ago, 41-14. I do think USC will come out playing better than they did a week ago.
I mean, you would hope so. They probably deserved to lose last week. I think that Arizona State recovered the football and there was no angle of it, so they couldn't do it. I really didn't understand the details of it, but pretty much from what I was led to believe, Arizona State got fucked. I didn't watch that game because fuck the Pac-12 for the most part. But USC has a couple road games in a row here at Arizona, at Utah, back-to-back roadies. It's not going to get easy for them. This is the probably the hardest part of their fucking schedule. They need to win this game. Arizona, I mean, we how bad are they going to be? They weren't good last year. Just how bad will they be this year? Still, the spread opened 13. Totals at 67.5. I expect some points. I do. But I think Arizona can probably keep it within 2 touchdowns just because I think that, this is a USC team that probably is being a little overhyped, Joe.
I mean, their offense looked good. Like a couple of receivers back. I thought they looked pretty good. Trojans 4-0 against the spread last 4.
I thought they sucked. I watched part of it later on.
Well, I think Arizona State's quarterback. We talked about it in the Saturday show. The kid's decent. Like he's okay. I'm probably gonna back USC this week.
Fair enough. All right, let's continue. Let's bang out these. I want to get through everything tonight quickly. Let's finish the 3:30s and hop into tonight's game, Joe. The final we have two more. Texas State, Georgia Southern.
By the way, Colorado looked good last week. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah, we couldn't believe
it. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't believe it. I watched Stanford. They stink again.
To be fair, Stanford was without their quarterback last week, so a little bit of an excuse. No Davis Mills. Listen, Colorado's quarterback was a guy who used to play free safety for them. So, I mean, the kid's fucking tough. Colorado's going to be pretty good offensively. This kid Neuer is their quarterback, and he wasn't terrible. He can move a little bit. Go, on the ground, you rush for a touchdown, threw for one. I think that Colorado is going to be pretty decent this year. I mean, and the fact that they're getting 7.5 points in Stanford. I may add this one Saturday. This is kind of a pretty crazy line to me. 7.5 points. I think Colorado may win this game. Forget about just covering. I like Colorado here, but I'll maybe this one I'll add on Saturday.
Okay, and what was you going? Georgia Southern, Texas State? Were you going there?
Yeah, that was the final 3:30 game.
Got to be Georgia State, right?
Georgia Southern, Texas State. So listen, this is Georgia Southern's laying 10. Here's the problem with this Texas State. They're 1-8, right? But this is pretty ridiculous that that they're being overlooked in this spot. This is actually Georgia Southern, like
I don't know, 20 points offensively, 24. I just think that the triple option, Texas State can score a little bit. 34 versus Lafayette, 14 versus BYU, 20 versus South Alabama, 17 last week versus App State, who was a good defense. I think they can score a little bit. I wonder if Georgia Southern will be able to put up enough offensively that they, that they're able to, kind of do that. So we'll see. I think Texas State may have a shot to cover this one. I'm not going to touch it, obviously. And then 3:30, no Maryland, Ohio State, it looks like. But if they do play, nope, it's canceled. Ohio State, Maryland was officially canceled, it looks like. Unless I've heard incorrectly. But I believe that game is going to be off the board, at least per ESPN. So that game is off. Yep, it has been canceled. So
have you seen a team fall from grace like Baylor? Again, by the way. it's like every 5 years. It's like, Baylor's good. Oh, no, they're not good anymore.
Yeah, we'll do the 4:00 games before getting into it. Yeah, I mean we talked about it this year, Joe. One of our win total locks, which is very few that we give out because this year was a little bit different, was Baylor under. And I love that play because I thought Baylor was going to struggle, and I do think that they're better than 1-4. I mean, their 4 losses are on the road to West Virginia, on the road to Texas, TCU, and at Iowa State. Like, they've had a tough go of it for the record, but this is a back-to-back road game with Texas Tech, dude. Like, it doesn't get any easier for them. And I don't know how many points Baylor can score offensively. Texas Tech is, should score a little bit here. 34, 28, 18 last week at TCU, but Texas Tech should score. This is a weird game, Joe. This is one I'm going to be avoiding, and I'll try and flip back and forth and see if I can find some game tape.
Okay. And I know people are busting my balls about being on my phone. I apologize. I found out a friend of mine's father passed away. So I was like just trying to get with the wife and be like, hey, should we contact them? You know what I mean? So sorry if it looks like I wasn't paying attention, but that's what happened there. So I just wanted to just share that. But we're good. We're good. And we're on track, Dan. Unfortunately,
cool. No, that's you guys. Listen, you got to take care of your shit. I get it. One of my friends passed away, earlier this week.
Yeah, and then it's like, all right, do you text them? Do you call them? Do you go to their house? What do you do? You know what I mean? Like, do I send them a fucking, a food thingy? Can I even see them? Do I got to wear a mask? What do you do?
Yep. No, I get it.
Fucking COVID. Hawaii. This isn't your old man's Hawaii, Dan. Not your old man's Hawaii. They did come back to win last week. Now this will be the third game for I was going to say third game on the mainland for Hawaii. They have one home game.
Yeah, Fresno, Wyoming, and San Diego State.
So I think San Diego State lost last week. See, that's the thing, right? These two teams here, I would have leaned San Diego State, and Hawaii did not impress. I don't like their new coach. Anyways, that's a different story for a different day. I would back San Diego State here, but man, what the fuck happened to them last week?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, New Mexico came to play, and Hawaii had a chance to cover. I think they were up like 12 or 13 at one point, and then they just New Mexico came back. Hawaii just they're a weird team, man. I mean, pull off barely a victory against New Mexico. Just get their ass kicked by a backup quarterback with Wyoming, and the Aztecs lose outright to San Jose State. We talked about that in the podcast, and we talked about how San Jose State might be a team that actually wins that game outright. They did. I would go back to San Jose State this week, but I don't know, man. This is a game I'm going to pass on. I do think Hawaii can score offensively, and I think San Diego State will have to score a little bit to keep up with them. So this may be an overplay, but this is probably a game you should stay away from unless you really want to play a Mountain West game. Again, it's a 4:00 game, so it's 1:00 for them and like 10 a.m. for Hawaii or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't even know for them. Good point on the time on that one. All right, so that's the 4:00 game. Then we're in the 6:30s, Dan.
Why don't we take a break and do the Thursday night game at 7:00?
All right,
Hit
we'll do
the 7:00.
it.
Take
Hey, Freddie Freeman won the MVP of the National League. So
there you go. Yeah. You want to take a 30-second break here, and we'll jump into Thursdays?
30-second break. It is the DraftKings over-under show. All right, we're back. If that's 30 seconds or not.
Close enough.
Just reading some stuff here. Trying to get all my ducks in a row for tonight.
Yeah.
I haven't put any bets in yet.
So I mean, per BJ Rains, who I don't know if you follow him, but he's probably the most reputable Boise State guy for coverage. He says that Bachmeier will be back tonight. So
okay. Can we just talk about Colorado State for a minute? Quarterback is the backup is much better than Monticio or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. They impressed me through the year. They did. Their running game blows. I'm sorry, it blows. Can they go on the road and throw like that? And at times they really struggled against that Wyoming defense. I mean, do we think Boise's defense is better than Wyoming's?
I think it's probably pretty comparable, maybe a little bit better.
I see 15 now. Wow.
16. Just had 16. So Bachmeier being in, I mean, that's a massive upgrade from your third string quarterback. You're probably going to see some sharp action now on Boise, and definitely some public action. On them. Obviously, I think that this is going to be a spot where people fade them coming off last week. They got, their ass whooped against BYU. This is a game I'm probably staying away from just because I think there's some better stuff on the board tomorrow. I do think Boise is probably the team I would take here. If I'm doing something, I'm probably taking Boise just because, Bachmeier to me is a potential and NFL prospect. Their team is significantly better. I mean, with Jack Sears, who was their backup, and who is not as good as Bachmeier, but he's in the same realm. They were a pretty damn good team. Colorado State, listen, I like Patrick O'Brien. He's a nice player, but again, it's still going to be, the offense is still going to be catered to more of a Todd Sendejo, than Patrick O'Brien, type offense. And I think that is a serious problem. We saw that in the second half last week with Colorado State, and they just they couldn't figure out how to fix their quarterback shit. In the second half, luckily they had a big lead in the first half. I just think that if you're going to back something tonight, it's going to be Boise State. If anything, I'm going to wait and see if I can find something second half and see if we can grab something there.
Any thoughts on the over here, Dan? Like Boise's going to, I think, put up points this week. I think they get back on track. Does Colorado State keep it close early and then Bachmeier, goes off second half? Because CSU is going to have to throw in order to do anything. Yeah,
I mean, it's probably a total I'm staying away from, to be honest with you. I do think that the over is probably the side probably more correlated with Boise State, but I don't think this is going to be an easy game to read because you don't know what you're going to do here. You know what I mean? You don't know. What Colorado State's going to come out with offensively. They're going to try and run the ball and they try and play ball control. So I think this is good, a game for me that I'm probably going to wait till the second half and, see what they're going to do. What is Adazio going to do against Boise State? So
this is, I fade Adazio. You mentioned Adazio fade. I want to fade him right away. I want to fade him so bad. So can Colorado State generate pressure? And I don't think they can. I mean, just based off the little I've seen, I don't love Colorado State's team. I don't think they're good. I want to give out a play, Dan. I want to give out a play.
Let's do it. I mean, we only have two so far. We could use some. Only if you want to. Don't feel pressured by me.
Patrick O'Brien, not bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Audazio, caters an offensive system to him, he should be okay. He's not bad.
Can Boise put up 40? I want to make a pick. Should probably just take Boise and roll with it, huh?
It's up to you. If you want Boise, you probably should get them soon, though, because it's going to continue to go up, and the total is going to continue to go up, too.
Let's see what the old local says. Let's see what we got here. I'm not backing Colorado State. So, any thoughts of Colorado State is out? Out. So it's either Boise or the over, or Boise.
Yeah, I got 15 here on the local.
15 local. What do we do? 63 at my book. What's the Boise team total?
It is 36 now, 36 and a half.
Oh, geez.
Minus 160. So it is very, very juiced.
Oh, let's go over.
Let me see what bookmaker has. I mean, I remember it's you're gonna have to pay 160 for every for 160. Let me see what bookmaker has for their team total here. Boise State team total 38 and a half.
All right, let's go over 63 PPE. Boom, boom.
There we go. There you go. So Joe gives out the over 63 in tonight's Thursday night game. All right, I think we've covered that. Let's move on to the NFL Thursday game, Joe.
Okay.
We got Titans. We got Colts. We got a flipping spread.
Are you ringing your bell and your wife's like, dude, come on, chill?
No, she's okay because the door's closed. She's used to it by now, right? We've rung the bell enough.
Yeah. She's like, oh, that's how they're making picks.
Yep.
All right. Let me throw a couple of things at you.
All right.
The trends last week backed Indianapolis over Baltimore.
They did not go well.
Nope. Indianapolis 7-3 against the spread their last 10 divisional games. Right now, I see the Colts -1, the total at 48.5. All right, Dan. This is going to be weird, but I originally was thinking under. I haven't put any bets in. I just put in that Boise State bet, by the way.
Yep.
So that's locked in, just in case. Oh, you don't bet the games you give out. I did. Okay. So I saw more trends today that I thought were fairly interesting regarding this game in particular. So I'll just throw them out at you, and then you can give me your opinion, Dan, and we'll go from there. So the Titans as a favorite are 11-3 in their last 14 games. The Colts on the road, their last 9 games, 2-7 straight up. The Colts are 0-6 straight up their last 6 games as an underdog. We already mentioned the 7-3 versus divisional opponents. This is weird, but they're 3-11 at night. Don't get me, that's weird. But the total has gone over in 8 of the Titans' last 11 games at home. The Titans are 10-3 in their last 13 in their division at home. And the Colts, here we go. This is the one that last week didn't matter. The Colts are 13-4 against the spread the last 17 games versus the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if you could get the Colts at 2.5 or 3, I don't mind playing that at 1 point. I mean, should the spread matter? No. Will it matter? We'll see. I probably, you probably lost all your value with Indy if you wanted to play them. In terms of the total, Joe, I mean, I don't disagree. I think that, again, 2 divisional opponents is going to be a different type of game. Thursday nights, Colts are coming off a really, really tough game. Like, let's not forget coming off that Baltimore game. That's a tough game. They were up at halftime. That's a real, honestly tough loss. And the Titans coming off a really nice win against the Bears, in which it got closer than it should have been. But that being said, the Colts victories this year have been, not great. Vikings, Jets at the Bears, Bengals at the Lions. Tennessee, their wins are a little bit better. They have a dominating win over on the road at Buffalo, home versus Buffalo. A good win against the Texans. I guess the Texans kind of suck this year, and then a home win against the Bears. I mean, it's not like their wins have been that much better. They almost beat the Steelers at home too. They lost by 3 at home. I do think that this is going to be more of a defensive battle. Indy again has a really, really impressive defense. The Titans should, match up pretty decently with what Indy wants to do offensively. Inactives for tonight. Ryan Allen is out for the Colts. For the Titans. Adam Humphries, Adoree Jackson out for Tennessee as well. This is a game. The Colts are going into Green Bay next week, or home against Green Bay next week. They're finally getting, healthy. I'd say the Titans are getting healthy. You look at the Derrick Henry rushing prop. Okay. Almost every game this season, Henry's at a rushing prop of over 100 yards. Last week, it was 95. This week, 80 to 85 was the rushing prop. That means that they're going to expect the Colts to focus heavily, make Ryan Tannehill beat them. I do understand that game plan. I get that. I think that Rivers is going to have to throw. This is a game I'm going to avoid in terms of, a side. I do lean under with you, Joe. The Thursday night under has been, pretty good recently. But yeah, this is a game I'm probably going to avoid just in general. I don't love anything tonight.
Oh, is the inactives out right now?
Yeah, as I said,
was Clowney playing?
Let me see if I can find the Tennessee, the Indian actives. Yeah, Clowney is playing because Allen, Humphries, Adoree Jackson are the big guys for Tennessee.
Okay. I've been playing lately. I don't do this often, but I've been doing a lot of player props lately.
Yep.
I hit the Cam Newton score first the other night. I lost a couple of them, but I still won money because of that hit. Player props. So you like anything like Derrick Henry? I'll just throw a couple out at you. Phillip Rivers over 23.5 completions.
Let me pull up what I did earlier.
Dude, Rivers, I read somewhere this week they want to bench him. I saw that on I saw it this morning actually.
I can't imagine that.
I don't think they would either. Jonathan Taylor rushing yards over 43. Let's see what else we got.
I have 40.5 here.
Oh wow, I got a local book. T.Y. Hilton's playing.
This is a local. This is a Buckeye skin too.
Tannehill. Where did I see Tannehill rushing yards? Tannehill rushing yards over 9.5.
Yep, that is the line there.
Oh, that looks juicy to me.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? Give me a Derrick Henry rushing touchdown. No, plus 175. That would be. Yeah, I think if you're looking for a good night to play that, a night where the Colts have a very good defensive line, you might be able to find a little bit of value with their defensive scheme up front. And listen, I mean, if the Titans get within the 3-4 yard range, then yeah, you're kind of fucked. But you're hoping that Tannehill is going to have to throw the ball, and that the Colts, front seven, which is very good, is going to be able to put up some good numbers there. So I think going there, you could probably find a better number than 175. That's just the one number I pulled up here. So yes, that's what I would have.
The favorite 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. So what is it right now?
The Colts are -1.
Fuck. Over is 4-1 the last 5. Road teams 4-1. Colts. Everything's leaning Colts in the over.
Yeah, I do not. I don't like anything. I like the under, but that's the most I can do. All right, let's move on for Thursday night. Unless you have anything else to add.
I got to make a pick, right?
If you want to give out a play, go for it.
Give me the Titans. Give me the Titans money line.
PP.
What is the money line?
Even
or -1. Give me Titans money line, baby. Lock it up.
There you go.
Everything's hedging towards the Colts. Give me the Titans.
There you go. I love it. When everyone zigs, Joe Murray zags. That's
I'm zagging. I'm kind of fading the Colts on a short week after a loss too, and I just think this is a game that if it's a divisional game, the Titans need this win. They just need it. I think the Colts defense is good. I do. I think they're very good.
I think the Colts need this win because if they win this game, then they at least have a chance at the division. They lose this game, division's over.
I hear you. I just
I got nothing on the side. Nothing on the side. So I lean under, but I'm not playing it.
I lean under, but I like the Titans. All right, Nevada at New Mexico. I like Nevada. You know my thoughts on Nevada. 17 now on the road, but Mexico stinks, but they played well last week. Do we go back to the well, Dan? Do we go back to the well? Yeah, I think Nevada beats New Mexico.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's 17.5 point favorites. They should. The question is, do they cover 17?
Ooh, neutral site. Neutral site. Where's the neutral site?
Yeah, I believe it's in Vegas, actually.
You know what? I'm PPing it. Give me Nevada plus 17. Oh, no, minus 17.
There you go. I like it. I do think that this opened at 14 because it probably was in New Mexico. Now it's 17. I think that should probably be more like 18 because it's in the Vegas. So they're playing at Sam Boyd Stadium. So, okay. 7:00, Joe. Arkansas, Florida. Your Florida Gators, ranked 6th behind Texas A&M, where they fucking should be. Taking on Arkansas. Florida coming off a huge win against Georgia and are 17.5 point favorites. Joe Murray, what are we doing here? Total in this one is 60. 60.5.
Is this Florida you're telling me
Yes.
about? This is the biggest recency bias. The way that Arkansas has, dude, Arkansas is 6-0 against the spread. How do you fade that? By the way, what the fuck happened to Tennessee last week?
Dude, they lost the quarterback and fucking it went to fucking hell. Really. They lost Guantanamo Bay and they went to Maurer. He sucked. They went to Bailey. He threw 2 picks. It's just a mess. Tennessee's a mess. Blow it up. Blow up the whole program because what a fucking mess they are. Meanwhile, Arkansas has 3 fucking wins. Their win total was 1.5 this year. Listen, this is going to be a ridiculously tough game for Arkansas. It is. Florida's riding high off a big win for Georgia. There's no reason to look ahead to Vanderbilt. There's no letdown here. We don't know if Pitts is going to play for Florida, though. That's the one thing, but still, I don't know. This is a game I'm staying away from, but it would not shock me if Florida goes in and just blows them out by like 25.
You would think, and people have been doing that for weeks now against Arkansas, right? It's just the Arkansas's coach has COVID, I believe, too.
Yes, he is out for the game.
So he's a pretty big impact. You might be right. The one thing about Trask that's so funny to me, he struggles like the first 2 or 3 possessions, and then he just goes fucking off. It's like it's like a batter at the plate. You got to see a few.
He adjusts.
Yeah, it's like he's got to see a few pitches, and then he's like, "All right, we got this." It's just. All I'll say this is Arkansas has been a fucking covering machine. Florida, though, they win this week, and someone falls off. Dan, somebody falls off. Whether it's Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, somebody falls off.
Another game canceled. UAB and North Texas off the board.
Jesus Christ. Man. Second wave. All right. Here's another one that you got to explain to me. SMU is getting 2.5 points from Tulsa. SMU.
I told you you are really down on the Golden Hurricane, but I told you
I'm up on SMU. I've watched Tulsa get hosed.
No, Tulsa won because of the hosing.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's still a really good team at home. I mean, maybe if you want to have it be a pick 'em, I can understand that. But yeah, Tulsa winning this game would not surprise me whatsoever.
Want some trends? SMU 1-4 against the spread the last 5 meetings.
Wow. This is not a game I'm going to play. It's not. I mean, listen, I think that this game could really go honestly either way. Tulsa is very good defensively. The total in this one is too high for me right now. 64. That's probably an underplay for me. But Tulsa defensively is very good. They have a returning quarterback in Zach Smith. He's okay. Shane Buechele obviously is elite, but SMU's lost their 2 best offensive weapons. So, maybe they're not the same offensive output team either. It's a weird line. I will grant you that, Joe. I just think that, Tulsa is better than we give them credit for, or they're touted for. And, SMU without without Roberson and the running back they're going to struggle a little bit. That's kind of the fact. So I think Bentley's the running back. So we'll see. But I think that's the reason why the spread is the way it is. Tulsa's just a pretty good team, despite the fact that they should have lost to ECU. Straight up, should have lost that game. That should not have happened. So,
yeah, this to me, I love SMU, but I loved Memphis last week, and then I believe it was SMU that beat Memphis. I'm not touching it. Nope, out. I'm not doing this one. I can smell it. I could smell man. They just updated that game real quick. They just took him off the board. I just saw it. All right, we're in the 7:00 stand. Oregon goes to Washington State, dude. So last week I had Washington State against Oregon. I remember we talked about Oregon State. What happened was I got tipped off to this quarterback there named Mayhew de la.
You talking about Washington State's quarterback?
He's good.
De La Laura, whatever it is, DeLaura.
Dude, De Laura. He's good.
Yeah, Jay DeLaura. Yeah, no, I love him. He can fucking air the ball, and he needs to be more consistent.
Their coach is the old Hawaii coach, so I'm in, right? So, now the Cougars won 4 in a row against Oregon, but they lost last year in Eugene on that last-second field goal by what's his face there. They won 37-35 last year.
Yeah, but this is in Pullman. This is not in Eugene.
That's what I mean. So, all I'll say is this: Oregon's running back is sick.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand this. I think Washington State could win this game.
Yeah, no, that's right. I don't get the 10 points. I like the 10. I don't want to peep. I like the 10. I love the 10 here.
Me too. I'm not gonna play it.
Oregon scores quick, dude. They're like one of the crystal ball team, a really good offensive line. Their best lineman's not playing, obviously, but dude, like I couldn't believe how fast Oregon scored last week.
Yeah, but Washington State put up 38, no problem.
Yeah, they gotta stop the run, man. That's what it comes down to. But is this kid figure it out in a week? Is it, Oregon going on the road with a new quarterback? Could be an issue there. I like Washington State in this one.
Fair enough. All right.
So we have to fade Michigan as an underdog. You just have to do it. All the trends show that Jim Harbaugh as an underdog, he sucks. It's just they're at home. Wisconsin, who's the quarterback? Is it Cohen? Is it the Gretz or whatever his name is?
Mertz.
Mertz, whatever. So I've watched Wisconsin. I think they can run all over Michigan, but they haven't played because they had so many fucking guys on COVID. I think Michigan stinks. I think they stink poo-poo. But is this the spot that we get? I mean, Wisconsin lost to Illinois last. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm out on this game. But Wisconsin won this game 35-14 for those that care last year.
Yeah, look, this is a game that you're going to be Which side do you want to be on? Do you want to be touching on?
I want to be on the Wisconsin side.
Right. Well, again, I think there's two sides. There's the undervalued Michigan side, which I think Michigan's probably being undervalued at this point, and there's the COVID side with Wisconsin. I think at this point everyone's kind of out on Michigan. I mean, Harbaugh loses again to Indiana. They beat ranked Minnesota, but now coming off Indiana to Wisconsin, maybe they overlooked Indiana. I mean that is possible because it's fucking Indiana. It is possible, but. Opened at 1.5. Now it's up to 4.5. It's a decent swing. This is going to be a stay away for me because I don't know what to expect from Wisconsin. Maybe a second half play. You don't know what to expect out of a team who just had a massive COVID, issue rage to their team. So we'll see. But the total in that one, Joe, is 53.5. I think if anything, you're looking under because I don't think either. I think Wisconsin is going to still have some COVID issues and, their quarterback's not going to be able to practice, and Michigan is going to be, they're Michigan. I mean, Joe Milton has been really good, but I don't know. It's Michigan. It's Michigan against a ranked team, a good ranked team. So.
Yep, I agree with you. A good ranked team that hasn't played in 3 weeks, but I do agree with you, Michael. What did I just call you, Mike? I was just texting my buddy Mike. I'm sorry about that. Okay, Daniel. Okay, cool. All right, we're moving. Florida State, right? They just lost like 3 dudes. Blackman's gone. They lost somebody got kicked out. NC State off that loss, Dan. Nope, I'm not betting any Florida State games this year.
Open at 6.5. It's up to 10. That's a decent sized move. 3.5 points. The total in this one, by the way, 59 down from 59.5. Real interesting that the total's moving down because, especially the way that NC State's defense has been playing, gave up 44 and 48 back-to-back weeks, 20 to Duke the week before that. Florida State gave up 48 and 41 back-to-back weeks. This is another interesting NC State has to win this game. Really, they need to. If they want to do anything in the ACC. I still think Florida State sucks. I lean NC State just because I think Florida State's so bad still.
Okie dokie, Smokey. How about Temple at Central Florida? Let's see what we got for 20, dude. The Owls are 1-5 against the spread the last 6 meetings. The over, that's a play. 6-1 last 7 meetings. And what's up with who's the quarterback at Temple?
Yeah, I mean it does sound like what's his face is going to come back this week. I'm blanking on Russo. Yeah, it does sound like Anthony Russo is going to return, so that should be at least better. For Temple. UCF, I mean, the thing is they just put up ridiculous amounts of points whenever they want, and their defense is improving. It's getting better. 34 versus Tulane, 21 at Houston, which I thought was a pretty good one. I think UCF can cover this massive spread. I really do. I know it's a lot of points. I know people are probably going to be scared away from it. 25.5. I think they can do it. I really do.
Okay. South Carolina is at Mississippi's. Both teams 2-4. Ole Miss 0-3 at home this year, and they're 11-point favorites.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this one, Joe. I really don't. I mean, listen, South Carolina sucks. Ole Miss sucks. There's probably going to be an ass load of points in this game, right? There's going to be, it's going to be like one of the Florida game. Both teams are just going to score a fuckload of points. Neither team is going to play any defense. I don't know. That's how I feel. I'm passing on this game. Passing.
He's passing the rock. I agree with you. Nothing on this one. Northwestern at Purdue. Northwestern's 3-0. We know about their quarterback. I mean, that's really been the difference for them. Always had a really good defense. Last time they were on the road, they started slow against Iowa, came back to win the game. Purdue opened as a pick'em. Now it's 2.5. This might be a good spot for Purdue. Playing a ranked team at home. Let me just see what some of the trends are here. But Northwestern has been one of those like road team 7-1 against the spread last 8 meetings. Wildcats are 4-0 their last 4 at Purdue. Wow.
And we're also not sure what's going to happen with Rondell Moore. We don't know if he's going to play or not. I mean, you would hope that he would play at this point. Purdue's 2 games in the season. This is a really big game for them. They need to beat Northwestern, to kind of have anything in the Big Ten. So this is an interesting one to me, Joe. Honestly, a really, 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 in my opinion, very tough game. I really don't know what to do here, honestly. This is a game I'm definitely going to be watching. Going to be super interested in the game. Purdue opened as a pick'em. It's now 2.5 to Northwestern. Just a pass, but it's certainly fucking interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, these lines are moving, dude. That we gave our picks out on earlier. I gave my picks out. Boise's down to 14.5. Okay. Just keep an eye. I like to see how the lines move after we give our picks. Not saying that we're line movers or anything like that, because we are not. We're just doing a live podcast and we're just some jabronis. Okay. Here's one that someone that I know was like, Joe, got to get on this one this week. And I was like, okay. Got to take Utah -2.5 versus UCLA. And I said,
no.
And I said, I said, why is that? Because I already told you I'm down on Utah. I'm down. They lost a running back, quarterback. Their coach got furloughed at one point. Like I kept my eye on Utah like this offseason. Like, dude, how are they going to field the team? But UCLA did not look good last week. The last meeting, Utah won last year, 49-3.
I mean, that's great and all, but
that was last year's Utah's great team.
As of a few days ago, Utah literally could not field a fucking team. They were practicing with practice players and I don't know. That's fucking crazy to me that people want to back this team. I mean, UCLA was not that bad. Like they really weren't. They put up 42 points on the road in Colorado. And it's not like Colorado's some garbage ass team who, is terrible and everything. So I don't know. I don't really agree with that. I think that this is I don't agree. I don't agree. I would go the other way on that one. I would. I like UCLA.
Let's circle that one for Saturday because I agree with you. I like UCLA as well. We got 3 more. We got 3 more games. 10:30. Sorry, I'm eating my M&Ms. As you said, Jose State getting too much love at -16 with a total of 59 versus the UNLV team.
I mean, it's a lot to cover again. After you kind of have like a big emotional victory over a San Diego State team, UNLV, it's probably a letdown spot. I think it's probably maybe a score too much. Maybe they win by like 14. I think it's just a lot of points, and they're probably looking to add somewhat to Fresno, a little bit. They're not taking UNLV seriously. I would pass. I mean, really, that would be my suggestion. I think UNLV probably scores a little bit, maybe over. This is just it's an all right pass to me.
Okay, same thing with Arizona State and Cal. Obviously, Cal found out last minute they can't play. Arizona loses in the final seconds, but their quarterback's legit. Daniels, say whatever you want about the guy. 245 yards passing. He can do it on the ground as well. He rushed for 111 yards. In this matchup a year ago, Arizona State won 24-17. I don't know much about Cal. And I'm Garbers, I believe, is he back?
Gabers?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Cal quarterback, of course.
Yeah.
Our friend there. Yes, Chase Garbers is back. I think we're talking about Gabers, the coach. Yes. And then, of course, Spencer Brash, who is our lovely, and Devin Monster are all still there.
They're all still there. Whoa.
Yep.
Oh, fucking 3-headed monster.
Seriously.
Arizona State's won the last 2 meetings. Dude, Arizona State is a covering machine. Now, I know you play to win the games, Herm, but man, you fucking cover. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, 3.5, I like Arizona State.
Fair enough. I honestly, I don't know enough about Cal to play them yet. I'll watch them this week. I'll watch them this week. We can touch on this one again on Saturday.
Yeah, same thing with Washington. I know nothing, but I do know that John Donovan, he's going to be the offensive coordinator. He was with who? They averaged 41 points a game back in the day. Yeah, John Donovan was their old offensive coordinator. I was reading about him earlier this week or whatever. But yeah, they want to go more to an aerial attack. Washington does. And I watched Oregon State last week. They got a really good running back, but everything else, meh.
Yeah, I mean, their quarterback had some pretty good stats, but I wasn't overall very impressed by him. That was the late game. Gebbia, I think his name is. I wasn't super impressed by him.
No,
was it Jamar Jefferson who carried the ball for them? I think was his name. That kid is good. So the Jefferson kid can play. He wasn't as good as the McIntosh kid from Washington State. That kid ran all over the fucking field. But yeah, again, this is another game that I don't know much about Washington. Again, late night Pac-12. I got to watch the first week or two to figure out what the teams are, honestly.
That's it. The college card is over. It took 2 hours, Dan. It took 2 hours to fuck around and get through that.
Okay.
So
Well,
let's pause. Let's pause
Yeah.
10 seconds for station ID here on the Over Under 985 Podcast Radio Network. Is that what it's called? The Over Under 985 Podcast Radio Network?
If you want it to be.
You know what I fucking hate is when the panel people give picks, you know? And you go, I'm going to take this team. That every one of them took the Titans. Fuck you guys.
Oh, no.
So beware. Beware.
Oh, no.
Coco, beware.
That is the fucking kiss of death.
No shit. I fucking hate myself right now. And now the under's fucking cranking for Boise right now. It's just going under. I hate Steve Adazio. I fucking hate that guy.
I know you do.
All right, Dan. We're in the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
Get
going.
Let's
do it. Let's do it. 1 o'clock, baby.
This is the fastest 25 minutes in sports right here. You can't get better analysis on the NFL than anywhere else. Okay, ready? Let's go to the games first, Joe.
The AT&T expert hotline. Yeah.
Yeah, the games first. Should have saw me the other day. I was doing Patriots post game. I had to do all these reads, and like the game, the thing is sponsored by Shaw's, but I'm reading other sponsors and the Shaws. So I'm like, oh, our friends over at Cumberland Farms are our friends over at this. I couldn't transition. I don't know what was wrong with me. All right, we got the Eagles at the Giants. So here, I'm going to give you one right off the bat. I'm not going to PP it, but I'm going to give you a winner. Give me the Eagles minus. Whoa, I had a 3. I see 3.5. I don't like that 3.5. All right, Eagles 3. Here's why. The Giants have only beaten Washington. They don't beat other teams. They beat Washington. So therefore, I'm going to take Philadelphia to win because the Giants can't beat other teams besides them. Now, I don't like 3.5. And the last time they played, they won by 1. So, like, ew. How do you feel about this game, Dan?
I mean, as you said, it's a divisional game. I think it's going to be a little bit more
difficult than last week. It's going to be one of those grinded out games that was similar to last week, Joe.
But that being said, you kind of talked about the Giants losing games and finding ways to lose, right? Philly does kind of need this game. To be perfectly honest with you,
Philly's better than their record. I'm sorry, they are. And why will they stop using Jalen Hurts as an option quarterback? He's not a fucking option quarterback.
Are they better than their fucking record? I don't think they are.
Yeah, dude, because like they haven't had Jackson, Jeffrey, like who's that guy? He's come out of nowhere. Fergalo or whatever the hell the guy's name is.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Fulgham.
So why that kid's great? He's like Jacoby Myers all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, listen. He can play. I like him. I like him quite a bit. I don't know, man. Like, I do struggle with the Giants. Being a team that I really want to back here. Honestly, like I think I would go under if anything in this game, Joe. Honestly, because I think it's going to be a rough divisional game. You're going to see something like last week, 23-20 type game.
Hit the under last time. I have a point.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be the kind of a resumption of that game. If you're looking for something, I would go under. That would be my play here. If I'm definitely playing something, which I'm not, but if I was, that would be what I would do.
Hey Dan, can you look into the COVID update on the RAS group on Boise? Thank you. Okay. Let's see here. Trends. You ready for these?
Yep.
Eagles 1-5 against the spread the last 6 games as a favorite. The Giants are 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games at home. The Giants in a whole entire season, 1-15 straight up their last 16 games as an underdog.
Oh.
Eagles are 10-3 against the spread the last 13 on the road versus the Giants. Which probably means more about Wentz than anything, but
agreed.
Okay, there. Let's move on here. Washington at Detroit. Woof, man. Let's get these crappy games out of the way. Washington has a league worst 1-7 first half against the spread record, so maybe Detroit gets out to a fast lead. Keep that in mind. The Lions are 0-7 straight up their last 7 games at home. Woof.
Do you see a line on this one right now? Because I cannot find one.
I see 3.5 Detroit.
Okay. All right. I mean, listen, they're my team. I have to get them ready, for Sunday. This is a game I really want no part of because I think that this is really a toss-up game, honestly, Joe. Honestly, I really do. Washington started Alex Smith. You don't know what Alex Smith is going to do week to week. And since the Lions have lost Kenny Golladay, that offense, not very good. So I'm not super fucking high on this team. I'm just kind of not. So I would say,
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. Don't get me wrong.
It's a gross game. I can't believe the Lions are 0-7 in their last 7 games at home. And Washington's 0-5 in their last 5 games on the road.
Yeah, dude, this is a fucking gross ass game. It is.
Out. Move on. Let's not even. Jacksonville, Green Bay. So Green Bay is 13.5. So last week I was like, why don't we just take back in Pittsburgh 14? They should win. So let's give you some trends here. Jaguars 1-5 against spread the last 6. The Jaguars are 0-7 straight up their last 7 games. They've been fucking putrid. Now the Packers are 6-2 their last 8, but didn't they get smoked against the Bucks?
Yep.
And then the Jags, check this out. 4-0 against the spread the last 4 games versus the Packers.
Here's the thing, though.
Who's the quarterback?
Jacksonville's starting Luton again. I really like Luton. He was really good last week, right? Can we be fair and say that
for a dude that we shit all over? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the first throw of the game was a fucking dime to DJ.
What was he? Oregon State, right?
Yep, Oregon State.
Yeah, he was a player there.
First throw of the game was a fucking dime to DJ Chark. Like, really was.
Yep.
I think that Green Bay is gonna score a little bit. I think Luton and the Jags can score a little bit. I like the over 50 here. I think Green Bay can absolutely cover this big number. It's a big number for a reason. I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are like, look at that number and say, I got to take the Jags those points. I get it. I do. I think you'll probably see some good 50-50 action on this game. I would lean over. I think both teams can score a little bit. Green Bay should score a little bit. And Jacksonville, we saw what they can do last week. Luton can air the ball out. He's a good deep ball thrower, just like they did at Oregon State. I would go over on that one.
Okie dokie, smoky. Let's go. Houston, Cleveland. Ooh, it's so I'm in the Capper Cup there every week, and I give out a pick.
Yep.
And this week I gave out Cleveland -3 as a pick this week.
It's 3.5 now.
Okay, I got it at 3, so I don't know if I can beat Bree there. I don't know. I'll give you some trends. Okay,
Okay, hit me.
Texans stink. 2-7 straight up. 1-8 against the spread last 9 games. The Browns, though, at home, dude, their last 9 games, 7-2 straight up.
And they're getting Nick Chubb back. It sounds like.
Yep. So I like Cleveland to win this game. And I like Cleveland to win 3.5. That fucking kicker. Nope, I'm not doing it.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to try and pull this up very quickly, that Houston might have the worst run defense in the league. Is that correct?
Browns are tied for 7th in yards per rush allowed, 26th in yards per rush.
I guess. Wow.
Texans 31st in yards per rush allowed. Yep.
Houston allows about 7 yards net gain. Oh, this is passing. Excuse me. I apologize. Houston, second worst run defense in the league, yards per attempt. Cincinnati at 5.2, Dallas at 5, and Houston sitting at number 2, 5.1. They are worse than Dallas's defense.
Oh, no.
Almost as bad as Cincy. What's up?
Boise has 14 players out due to COVID protocol.
Yep. Yeah, that was what the RAS stuff was. I didn't have time to go through it today. Yep, that makes sense.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
Let's see. Let's see. I'll see if I can.
Holy shit, dude! There's no way they're gonna go over 60 points.
I mean, they may if there are a bunch of defensive players out because they're 5 for contact tracing.
I don't know, man. I wish I could say take all bets off. I hope nobody's fucking bet it, but I wouldn't bet it now. I'll take the L if I lose, but add it to the record. But I'm sorry.
This is why it's hard with COVID. All right, let's see if I can see the list of inactives here. All right, so we got oh boy, a lot of freshmen. Let's see. Redshirt freshman Trevor Cole, wide receiver. Chase Core, who you don't need because he sucks. Defensive tackle Jackson Cravens. Cornerback Marquise Evans. Nose tackle Kean Freeborn. Will linebacker Brandon Hawkins. Offensive lineman Dallas Holiday. Safety Roman Cafantis. Isa Kifamete, he's a defensive end. Tyrek LeBeau, he's a cornerback. Will linebacker Brock Miller. Junior Scale Eiton, he's a nose tackle. Junior Ridian Long, he's an offensive lineman. Redshirt will linebacker. Oh, it's Brock Miller. Cornerback Chris Mitchell, excuse me. Quarterback Jack Sears, he's out for injury. Mason Tykes, tight end. He's a redshirt senior. Evan Tyler, their safety senior. They have running back Taekwon Tyler. He's a sophomore. Kicker punter Joe Velasquez. He's a redshirt senior. He's out. That could be bad for the over. 2 more wide receivers and another defensive end. So almost all purely defensive players out on COVID, Joe. So that's a good thing at least. Looks like it's going to be very little offense that's out for Boise. Very little offense. Let me see if I can get more from BJ Rains here.
That's what I was looking at. BJ Rains.
Octavius Evans has been removed from the depth chart as well. So 4 starters out for Boise State. At least
Boise State. So you need to have 5 interior defensive linemen. They have you need to have 4. They have 5 to play.
And 3 of them are true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. Shit. So this is going to be did you take Boise or did you take the over?
I took the over and a little small on Boise.
Okay. I would feel pretty good about the over right now.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Again, this is
you know what's more fucking ridiculous than anything? They're playing the game. Right? Like, I know there's TV rights and all this shit, but like you just find this out in the kickoffs in what, 10, 15 minutes?
I mean,
all right. I don't know. Well, let's see the product of guys. I don't know. Maybe if I didn't have a bet on it, I wouldn't care. Right?
Yeah. No, I get it. I do. I do.
So again, if you haven't put it in yet, don't do it. I'll take the L and the loss, whatever the outcome is, whatever. There's always more games, but that sucks.
Yep.
It's part of it. So yeah, again, I like Cleveland, but I'm not taking them at 3.5. If I got it at 3, I do it. I don't trust that stupid kicker.
Yeah, as we talked about, Houston's run defense, second worst in the league, 5.1 yards an attempt, and now they're gonna have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt back. I'm telling you, this could be ugly. It could be.
Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay off that just fucking beatdown. Panthers 0-5 against the spread the last 5 games versus their division at home. But again, we know about Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers. 7-2-1 their last 10 games at home versus teams with a winning record. Not a good spot for Tampa Bay, if you ask me. But they might come out swinging this week.
See, I think that coming off a loss like that, don't you think they'd be fucking pissed? Like,
yeah. And the only thing with Tampa Bay for me is, dude, this is now 2 weeks in a row they haven't covered. And they're going against one of like the cover masters in Carolina. But Carolina won't have Christian McCaffrey. Well, I don't know, man. I don't really know how he,
they're much better with him.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say that, listen, I think that they're better with McCaffrey. I think Tampa Bay is going to cover. I'm going to feel stupid for not taking them, honestly, because I think Tampa Bay is going to come out and cover. They're going to rebound. They're going to have a good game. Honestly, I feel like this is just, I may have to add this one Saturday. We'll see.
Circle.
Denver
at Vegas. Excuse me. Broncos have allowed an average of 35 points per game in the last 3 games. So look at that one in general. The Broncos in general, dude, are not a good road team, even though they beat the Patriots this year. And within their division, they're 3-9 against the spread the last 12 on the road. But after a loss, dude, they're 7-0 against the spread the last 7 games after an against the spread loss. So they generally bounce back. And just the Raiders, 1-5 against the spread this year, their last 6 at home.
Yep. And the other thing is that it's a divisional game too. It's going to make it different. Broncos and, I know everyone's going to love the Raiders coming off what they did. Broncos coming off that loss to Atlanta. I think that you could make an argument for either side here. There's going to be a game that I don't really have a really vested interest in playing.
Okay. Buffalo. Okay, let's get into this one. Buffalo at Arizona. So I saw it +1 Buffalo. Now Arizona's 2.5. Okay.
Yep.
Bills 7-2. We know about that. Their last 9 games, but dude, they're 1-5 against the spread. Their last 6 games on the road. Cardinals 1-5. Their last 6 games as home favorites.
That's fine. I don't give a fuck. PP, give me the Cardinals. I'm going back to the Cardinals. Cardinals -2.5. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back to this train. Buffalo gets a really nice win last week. They're going to be overvalued in a spot against Arizona, who lost at home to Miami. If Arizona puts up 31 against Buffalo, I feel very confident in saying that they're going to win this game.
I feel the same way. I think Arizona wins this game, but if Buffalo wins and wins it convincingly, I'll tip my cap. I don't think they can do it this week.
Me too.
I don't think they can do it. But let's forget Arizona beat Seattle. We know what Seattle's just become, right? It's we just don't know what they are.
Inconsistent, just like the rest of the NFL.
Speaking of Seattle, they're now 2-point dogs to the Rams. Seattle 10-4 straight up on the road. We lost last week. As a road underdog, dude, they're 11-3. They're 9-1 straight up after a loss. But the Rams, dude, at home 5-0 straight up, 9-1 against the spread. Their last 10 after a loss as well. So the only thing I will say is this: the Seahawks 2-6 against spread the last 8 games on the road versus the Rams. They've struggled in LA versus the Rams.
It's a good buy low spot for Seattle, but to me, it's just again, it is a on the road, divisional game. It's not going to be easy. It's Rams are 3-0 at home so far this year. Seattle 2-2 on the road. We just saw what they did against Buffalo. I understand it's a little bit different because it's in Buffalo, but nonetheless, it's not a spot I'm looking to bounce back and not exactly eager to take Seattle here.
Okay.
I'll look more into this game. It's a game I have not looked a ton into, to be fair.
Hey, Dan, what's doing?
I believe the Dolphins are 1-0, and maybe they should shut the fuck up. And
2-0.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's right. 2-0. Yeah, they're 2-0 with Tua. Maybe all the people inside the Dolphins front office should just shut the fuck up and let the kid play. Huh? How about that?
What do you think? What do you think what's doing this week?
I am a little worried about them this week, to be fair. This one opened Miami -3. It's down to -1. The look ahead was Miami -1. This is a potential spot for a letdown here for Miami, right?
I thought last week was too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I thought that they would play well. I didn't think they were going to cover or win. So I do think that this is a potential letdown spot for Miami, but I like the Tua train. I like the Tua train. So, I'm not touching it, but I hope Tua keeps winning because fuck Miami. I hope he hates the organization and leaves. I hope he's like, fuck you guys and all.
Chargers are having Herbert's done well, but they suck. They're gonna need a new coach soon. Okay. Yeah, that one, circling that one.
Hold on, food. My wife's food's here. I have to get the door open.
No. Okay. We're holding for Dan to get food. What do you think they got?
You can just drop it. Thank you.
Oh, I agree with that bullshit story, by the way. That's just smoke. To be like, hey, we got a top 5 pick. Who wants it, man? Yeah, that's what I think too. Okay. Oh, it's got to be steak, right? That's all they eat. These fucking people. All they're eating is steak. Then they don't even get sides anymore. They just get like, look at all that booze in the back there. Dan's got, What'd you get? Steak? Everyone's thinking steak.
I did not get anything. I can't have anything. I had a tooth pulled the other day.
Oh God, how'd that go?
It's fun.
They numb you up and knock you out.
Yeah, no, they just numb me up. I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
even feel it, right?
No, I didn't feel it at all. It
happened to me too.
Yeah, no, it just sucks because I can't fucking eat anything this week.
Yeah, you got the stitches. You can't fucking eat on that side.
Yeah, no. So it's like I can't eat anything right now. So I need I think. How long did it take you before you ate?
Well, the problem was I was smoking marijuana at the time.
Gotcha. So you got dry. I
got dry socket, and that was something that I would not suggest.
I will not be doing that.
I would not suggest that. So yeah, mine took probably 2 months, but in your case, it should have been 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks. They actually told me 5 to 6 days. They gave me painkillers. I don't really like painkillers, so I don't fucking take them. I belong, whatever aspirin or whatever the fuck it is. But
what is funny? We were talking about how you guys ordered food. Whenever I do, every Thursday we do this fucking podcast, and I always get fucking something on my phone, whether it's something. What's next week? What the fuck's gonna happen next week?
Yeah, you and your fucking phones during Thursdays, dude. I would just turn your phone off.
I got. Hey, who do you like tonight? You like boys? Who you liking tonight? I'm motherfucking doing the podcast. Go listen to my show.
Yeah. I heard it was not your drug dealer at the door. Unfortunately,
it was not. Unfortunately, New Orleans -10. It's gone down. Okay, it was 11, now 10. San Fran, is it Mullins? Probably Mullins again. Is this a bad spot for New Orleans, considering that they've won on the road 2 weeks in a row now, and they come back home against San Fran, who got it over the total but didn't win a week ago. Trying to find a way here, like to back the 49ers a little bit.
So I mean, listen, I think San Francisco is the right side. New Orleans is going to be heavily overvalued here. San Francisco is not that bad. Nick Mullins, again, he scares me. But, the Saints in a non-divisional matchup, I just think the Saints are just not as good as everyone thinks they are still. I can absolutely see the Niners finding a way to cover this game. They will. It doesn't sound like they'll have Deebo Samuel, but they'll have most of their offensive, people back. So I still think the Niners can get this done, even with Nick Mullins. Even with Nick Mullins, I think they can.
49ers are 5-1-1 their last 7 games against the Saints. Saints 2-7 against the spread in 9 games at home. So that backs you there. And then we got just a couple more here, Dan. Pittsburgh off their win, 8-0. Plays Cincinnati this week. Cincinnati very good this year at covering early on. Let's see.
I think they're almost undefeated against the spread.
6-1 against the spread in 7 games.
Yeah, Baltimore is the only game they didn't cover.
But dude, on the road, 15-1 in their last 16 games on the road.
We also don't know the spread for this one because the Roethlisberger and COVID stuff and everything. Right. So let's get more into this game on Saturday. We'll leave this one for it.
The only thing I'll say is this: Pittsburgh at home, tough fade, fucking tough fade.
Agreed.
Baltimore, New England. I'll just say this: the last time the Patriots were dogs at home was 2001 of 7 points or more. That was the game that Antoine Smith fumbled going into the red zone. Remember that?
Oh, I do.
And then they beat them in the Super Bowl that year. Ravens are 7-1-1 the last 9 games on the road. They're 10-0 straight up in the last 10 on the road. They're 7-0 straight up in the last 7 on the road versus teams with losing records. And the Patriots are 0-6 their last 6 games just under the lights, dude. They suck under the lights.
Yeah.
But we remember that game last year. I think it could be worse.
I'm going to say this is a game we'll touch on more Saturday, especially. But here's what I'm going to tell you, Joe. The whole world's going to be at Baltimore, and usually that's really good for the Patriots. Usually, when the whole world's on one side against the Patriots, it never goes well. The boat against the Patriots sinks real quick, and not to mention primetime game on a Sunday. The ref's going to help the Patriots in that one in Foxborough.
In Foxborough, no fans, bro. But
yeah, and I'm just saying, I think the Patriots find a way to fucking cover. Not win, but cover.
Check this out. The last 4 meetings between these two teams, 4-0 with the over.
Ooh.
And the Pats are getting everyone back, and they're slowly getting better on offense, even though I still think they suck.
Total on that 43.5 feels low.
Can be a lot of running.
Yep.
And then finally, Minnesota at Chicago. Nice little divisional matchup here. The Vikings in the first quarter this year are 7-1 against the spread. And they're 5-1 their last 6 games against the spread. Like, they're doing very well. And every trend here favors pretty much Vikings early and then Bears late. The one that stands out, Vikings are 2-10 against the spread the last 12 games on the road versus the Bears. They struggle at Chicago.
I like Chicago a lot. I do. If this gets the 3, I will play this. It's not 3, it's 2.5. If this gets the 3, I will play it and I will PP it Saturday.
So real quick, I gave up on the Vikings earlier in the year. They got a shot here. They got a shot.
I mean, they're 3-5. I mean, it's
Dalvin Cook, right? Can he run in the cold weather against this team? I want to know.
Well, that's the thing is they're gonna have to throw against fucking Chicago. They're gonna have to throw against Chicago. They are. Like they're gonna have to throw the ball. Chicago's front is gonna play Cooks tough. They're gonna load up and say Kirk Cousins with Adam Thielen beat us. And I find it hard to believe that Minnesota is gonna beat them by doing that. Despite how bad Chicago's offense is, I still think at home they should be able to win this game. I do. And I believe they're going to the bye the week afterwards. So, they're going into their bye. Not to mention, the look at it for this was Chicago -3. They're now getting 2.5 points. It does feel very similar to the Rams line earlier in the year. I very much like this game for Chicago. If it gets to 3, I'm fucking taking Chicago. So there you go.
All right, we are 1 minute away from 8 o'clock, Dan. Let's get out of here. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're back Saturday morning, 7 to 9. We'll have more plays. Apologies today. We just, there's a lot of shit going on in COVID, right? We'll just blame COVID for everything. Fucking COVID. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so thanks, everybody. We got Boise coming up, and then, of course, tonight, the Thursday night game. He's Dan Lifshatz. I'm Joe Murray. This has been another edition of Over Under 985.
Who you got? Good luck on your bets tonight, guys.
All right, Dan, I'll put it in the thing, bud.
All right, see ya.